across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Well, guess who's here? Oh!
Hello.
Sorry, that's Alan Partridge. Most people are going to think on the radio, oh, he's got Alan Partridge with him.
Because Ash is in Eastbourne. On his
Why?
holidays, how dare he?
He's just going to be like Miss Marple, sort of only a fat, hairy version.
Do you know what? Everyone in the world has gone on holiday, haven't they, today? Oh, my word.
So everyone has gone on holiday, so that's why there was nobody left. And we phoned Danielle.
Kev's been in traffic for 10 hours, yeah. I got stuck at Luton, which was good fun. Sorry,
At the airport. Have you come back from holiday again?
No, I haven't.
She's like the Sarah Ferguson of Talk. She works for about half a day and then goes on a 3-week holiday.
Shoot you. I might be going to Istanbul, but never mind.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Actually, this was the most Partridge thing ever. I was about to say you'll get caught in traffic at Istanbul. There's a lot of traffic between the airport and the centre of the town. Look, I'm sorry. It's just not worth. It wasn't worth mentioning.
I don't even know what that even means. Now, we're going to be talking about a very controversial topic tonight, and I am sure this is going to wind some people up. We'll be talking about the pension. Now, my mum, unfortunately, I'd love to have her on here, but she's had an operation on her vocal cords, so she literally can't even. Apparently, whispering is as bad for your vocal cords as shouting.
Can I?
Did you know that?
Something that I've always lived by as a principle. What I want to ask you is, can you
How
do?
can that be true?
Can I ask you to do an impersonation of your mum at the moment?
She's like, well, she's
It's hard talking like
she's
that.
not allowed to whisper, so she's just like.
She's
speaking.
not allowed to whisper.
Honestly, so if anyone out there knows the reason why, but yeah, she's not allowed to whisper and she's not allowed to shout. She has to talk at a low volume like
Oh,
this.
I couldn't be doing that.
So I know.
I can't do it.
And then my son passed all his GCSEs.
Did he?
So we went round to my mum's. Yay! We got to say, well done, Ellis. Passed them all.
Right, I've got one thing to say
and
to
we went
everyone.
round to her house and she was like, I can't talk. And I was like, oh, I forgot.
I've got one thing to say though. What with the new marking scheme, he could have passed or failed and just pretended, couldn't he?
No, do you know what, isn't it?
I got 8 4s and 3 6s.
Do you want me to tell you something as well? You're absolutely right. And you know what?
Nobody knows.
You know what got me? So I'm doing that thing where you go, so is that an A or no, that's a low B, high A, low C, high B, all that rubbish.
Is
and
that singing related?
Why can't they just put them A, B and C?
They can't.
However, get this, when he then applied for his college course, it said, what level are you? Did you get 9 C's and above? I was like, mate, you've made it into numbers. So
he should have said.
I was like, have they gone mad?
He should have said, my major problem is I need a master's degree to understand the mark scheme.
I know.
Right, I'm just.
However, he did do really well. He got an A in his maths.
Oh, really?
That was his highest.
That's good.
Highest grade. He got an A in an A minus.
Come on, what did he fail?
A minus.
No, I want to know what he failed.
Didn't fail any of them.
I failed French.
Did you?
Je m'appelle Andre.
I failed CDT, Craft Design and Technology, because I didn't finish the project. I just sacked it off.
My third year, there was this one big fat lad, right? And what they said was we had to make this this holder for a TV remote control.
Yeah.
And they said do as few joints for brazing or welding as possible.
Yeah.
Because then what you'll do is, it'll mean, because there's only one bloke who can do it, and he doesn't do it that fast. There was one fat kid who designed his item so badly, it needed 40 pieces of welding. So
he stole the welder for the whole project.
For the whole year.
I had to make a cushion that was like a ring and then a CD case. And I remember both were appalling. They were appalling. And I went to my mum, I've made the... And even my mum was like, Danielle, they're absolute trash.
Do you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me. I went to Colombia, I went to the Emerald Market, I'm not joking, right? And I bought this unincluded 1 carat emerald, right? And then I went to the bit, I'm not joking.
How big's that?
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
I went to San Andres Island and I decided I'd give it to my mum. I went to San Andres Island
I'd love a 1 carat emerald.
No, I'm not joking. And I had them hand beat a crucifix with the emerald in the middle on the beach on San Andres Island out of white metal, which is non-sterling silver. Right.
Wow.
When they finished it, it was the ugliest piece of crap I've ever seen in my life. and I just had to show it to my mum, and she just laughed at it. And what I said to her was,
she had the emerald.
The backstory of this was so good.
But to be fair, why would you put a carat emerald not in silver or gold? Like, why would you even bother?
Oh, it's a Colombian silver. We call it white metal.
Oh,
For them, it's silver.
But it's not got the 925 mark or whatever.
No, yeah, because our silver has a certain rating to it.
Oh, so it is.
It is silver,
but not officially.
It's not officially silver.
But it was absolute trash.
Okay, now listen, we're preparing everybody. We've started you very, very calmly. But this week, one of our good friends, one of the big supporters of the show, Reem Ibrahim. Do you see, by the way, how I'm pretending to read the auto cue there, but there isn't one, right? Right, so let's do that. Let's do that again. There we go.
Why are you pretending to
Because then ITN will think I'm good at this, right? So, okay, one of our friends and one of the supporters of our shows, Reem Ibrahim, called for an abolition of the state pension. She's from the Institute of Economic Affairs, and she is the head of media there.
Hello, Reem.
How are you?
Hi, how are you guys?
You look lovely as ever. You went viral, didn't you, Reem?
I did. I've
like
got
an
to say,
infection.
You both look very lovely this evening.
Oh.
And yes, you're right. I mean, I said on Twitter, or X, we now call it, we should abolish the state pension. And this sort of came after I was thinking about all of the responses that I was getting online, where people were saying, you know, the state pension's really important. Why don't we just cut foreign aid? And I'm like, yeah, sure, we can do that. But the state pension is miles away more expensive than any of those things. Now, don't get me wrong.
But what's the justification, Reem, when these people have worked hard all their life and paid into it? Shouldn't that be illegal?
Well, currently it is the law, but we can definitely change the law, can't we? We are currently paying the highest tax burden since Second World War. The reason why Rachel Reeves keeps hiking up taxes is because they are unable to cut spending significantly. Anybody that looks at a graph at what the government are actually spending our hard-earned money on will see that about 12% of public spending is on state pensions alone. So we are expected to spend more on state pensions than on defence, education and policing alone. Okay. The state pension is extraordinarily expensive. Now, don't get me wrong. I know pensioners have worked all of their lives, and I do think that those pensioners that cannot afford to live for themselves, don't have a private pension, should absolutely be entitled to it. I don't want those pensioners to go hungry or not be able to heat their homes. However, 25% of pensioners are millionaires. Do you think Lord Alan Sugar should be getting a pension paid for by average taxpayers today?
I don't believe Lord Alan Sugar should even be in the country, if I'm being totally honest.
Is that true, that 25%? Because that's a huge number.
Yeah, and I don't think any of them should be receiving taxpayer funding.
Okay, they're millionaires, as in their property is worth $1 million, or
it could be their property, it could be other assets.
Could be the pension fund. Let me ask you this, Reem. So this is one of the big problems that we've got in this studio. And funny enough, we've talked about this a couple of times. In the old days, you know, people on the right would moan about scroungers and all this sort of thing. The general feeling of most of our viewers now, and we know this from having talked to them, is that they feel that everybody's got their hand in the till at the government. Everybody is being taxed at a punitive level now, at a level whereby working is becoming a waste of time, and whereby it encourages criminality because of the level of punitive taxation. But it's only us, the hard-working, decent people, that are ever asked to cut back. And the argument I think most people will make for the pension is not that they actually fundamentally disagree with the word you're saying. What they're saying is that the local government fatties retiring age 36 on 8 times, you know, the fact that...
Reem, there's a million things.
God bless them. There's overpaid doctors, 150,000 a year to dish out penicillin in a GP surgery.
And migrants living in their hotels.
Living in hotels. Why?
I mean, come on, Reem. In this day and age, these people have paid into that pension.
Why should we do that first, is my point.
Yeah.
No, I'm not so saying it's first. It's just that's my opinion. I do think you're absolutely right. There is lots of government waste. We are currently at a situation where government public spending is about 44% of GDP. That is enormous. We're basically becoming a socialist country where almost half of the economy is the state, right? So you're both completely right. You're both completely right. There is lots and lots of waste. But all of those things that you've just mentioned, migrant hotels, that makes people very, very angry, foreign aid, local government waste.
Benefits.
It's not even a drop in the bucket when it comes to the largest spending measures, which is basically age related. So it's health and pensions. Now, of course, part of it is that we've got an aging population. When the state pension came into play, there was a much larger working population and a much smaller...
What about, hang on one second. What about, Reem, those people who don't have that £1 million asset in cash?
We should abolish stamp duty and they should be able to sell their house.
Okay, because there's going to be...
I agree with that. I think that people should be able to sell their house without being penalised once they...
But there's going to be a lot of older people who are overhoused, and we do know that that's an issue. I mean, funnily enough, I've got so many pensioner friends of mine who go, the bloody wife won't sell the house just in case all the kids come back at Christmas. They're not going to do that.
No,
but at the same time, if you
we have got more children than ever.
Hang on, let me complete the point. You might be in a position, in fact, we will be in a position of having 80-year-olds listening to this who've got only a very small pension and are crunching round in a 5-bedroom house and who don't want to move aged 80 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to concede that those people would be heavily penalised in terms of losing their lifestyle.
If you're in a £1 million house, you shouldn't be getting taxpayer-funded benefits, and I don't know how else I can make that clear. If you are living,
but Reem, I think you're missing the point of that these people have worked all their life and paid into it.
I will never get a state pension, so I can work all of my life pay for these people to get a state pension. But quite frankly, it's unsustainable. It will end up...
Hang on, Reem, let me stop you. Let me stop you just for 1 second, because I'm going to ask you a question that I know the answer to, but but people are going to be staggered. So, national insurance, the state pension. So what happens, doesn't it? That they invest all the money like in a standard pension scheme, and if I pay in today, when I go to age 65 or 70, that money has been meticulously looked after, and I will draw that out in the way of my state pension. That's how it works, Reem, isn't it?
I wish that was the case, and perhaps pensioners today would be a lot wealthier, and we wouldn't see the poverty we do today if that was the case. Unfortunately, any money that you have paid national insurance your entire life has already been spent. Yes. So we are currently
the average amount of time that money stays after you've invested in national insurance and a state pension, the average time it stays in the government bank account is 4 weeks.
Do you know what this sounds like? This sounds like another case of the person who went out and worked hard and paid their taxes and did well for themselves and have left a little nest egg for the kids being punished again while everybody else wants the handouts.
Danielle, they are not being punished. They're being asked to take personal responsibility for themselves financially. I don't think other taxpayers should be forced to foot the bill for wealthy people. Now, as I've said, I think if state pension needs to be means tested, I would completely abolish the universal element of the state pension.
But you're saying you don't think that people who do well should be... Well, isn't that what you started with?
They shouldn't be getting benefits, no. A millionaire should not be getting taxpayer-funded benefits.
You said we're going into a socialist country. Doesn't that actually reinforce that?
No,
aren't you saying, well, if you've worked hard and
socialism is a big
invested your money, you shouldn't be taking it off other people who need it? You actually started by saying this country is in a mess. That seems bizarre, Reem. You're actually you're contradicting yourself.
Right, no, I'm saying that I want the government to be smaller, I want taxes to be lower, and the only way we can do that is by reducing the size of the state. If you look at what the government spends money on, it is predominantly on old age pensions and on health. It's basically age-related spending. So we have to abolish the NHS. We have to ensure we have a competitive market in healthcare like every other European healthcare system.
Abolish the NHS?
Yes.
Abolish it. Just draw a line under it and say you can only have care if you're rich.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we need a social health insurance model like the Netherlands, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, every other European country.
Okay.
I think we need a competitive market in healthcare.
Yes.
And I think the NHS is one really great example of this, where we're being forced to foot the bill for an enormous expense, almost £200 billion a year. So actually, when we're thinking about public spending as a whole, the NHS and pensions are some of the most enormously expensive things that...
However, Reem, what we're doing again is we're trusting in a government who've already balled it up. Excuse my French, but what you're saying there is the same kind of thing again, which
Isn't it la bollock in French?
Already, the NHS is an absolute mess, to put it politely. Same with councils, and again, you're saying, let's claim some money back here that again will be of no fruitful reward to anybody, because these guys don't know what they're doing, let's be honest.
Well, yeah, indeed, and that's why I want them to have less power. That's why I want a smaller state, and that's why I'm a libertarian. I want the government to be smaller. I want people to be able to actually keep what they earn rather than have half of it taken by the state and squandered on huge benefits that are absolutely unnecessary. And pensions are one of those things. If you are wealthy, you shouldn't be receiving money from other taxpayers that have unfortunately probably not going to get the state pension. So
But Reem, what about this idea which loads of people will make as an argument? And I'm just going to almost repeat what Danielle said, which is this. There are some people who've worked incredibly hard and there's some people who've been incredibly lazy. And what happens is those people who've been incredibly lazy will continue to receive the state pension because they haven't made private provision. And the people that have made private provision and have worked hard all their lives will get nothing. And let's be clear, Reem, just to once again reinforce Danielle's point, if you think they're going to cut tax if they abolish the state pension for 25% of people, it's just not going to happen. What will actually happen is they'll blow it on the Indian space program or giving away the Chagos Islands for the 15th time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I almost certainly agree with that. I'm not saying that I think the government will do this. I'm saying this is what I think the government should do. The government should reduce the size of the state. Taxpayers in this country are working extraordinarily hard. We are literally being taxed to the oblivion. 21% of the working age population.
What about Paul Murray's been in touch and he said, look, he doesn't want the 22-year-old dictating pension policy. I'm up for that. But he also says that the pension is not particularly generous. I mean, what would actually happen? Let's be realistic. What would actually happen is this, in the real world. The pension would be removed for many of the wealthiest people, and they would simply give the resultant saving to the poorest people, and they'd just keep the bill at the same level. And that would be ultimately exactly the same as what my mother used to say about child benefit, where she used to say, why should it just go to the mums that haven't worked hard and saved?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the point, right? This is where we end up into sort of the pathway towards socialism, where everybody gets everything, universal basic income. I'm sure lots of lefties are going to be arguing for that. The problem is, and look, I think you're right, and I think pensioners have been told, I mean, basically pensioners have been lied to, right? Yeah. Everybody in this country has been lied to and been told that you pay national insurance your entire life, that stays in a little pot, and then you
it's outrageous, really.
You get that money out. That is a lie, right? Pensioners have been lied to, but we have to face up to the truth. And I know this is going to make me unpopular. I know many people will be upset with me, but we have to be honest about the economic truth. That is, these kind of levels of benefits are just simply unsustainable.
I understand where you're coming from. I understand that. However, I fundamentally disagree with this as a solution. It would just be...
But here's one thing for both of you. And look, I think some of us will have heard of Tax Freedom Day, but I just want to remind people that every year the Adam Smith Institute publishes the date of the year where if the way tax worked was you had to pay the government first, and it's only after you'd paid all your income tax, all your national insurance and everything, you were allowed to keep any money. The first day you would be paid in this country after starting work on the 2nd of January would be the 12th of June.
Yeah.
The 12th of June, all of that time.
You see, I just think we're spiralling into crisis, and I don't really. I'm not one of those people who looks on the black side, but I just see that we're making so many mistakes with this, with the taxing, and it's just getting absolutely out of hand. And if they took away that pension, it would not. These are idiots that are making these
problem is, here's what Reem's saying. Here's what Reem's saying. I don't want to put words into your mouth. The reality is the country's going bankrupt.
Yes.
And she isn't being unfair. No. She's just saying we just don't have that money.
I get what you're saying.
That's a hard bit, Reem.
I get what you're saying, Reem, but I'd probably need a little longer to think about it. But I do believe there are other places I would rather take that money from, because I know what you're saying, but I don't think you can sell someone. I don't think you can sell someone something and then take it away. I think that is its very nature, and just say, well, do you know what, the country's a mess. Well, it's not our fault. You know, we invested, we worked hard, you're the ones that we're going to punish for this. I just don't see how that's an answer to anything. I think, let's be honest, I think the fact that, like, more than ever we've got, well, do you know what as well, what's winding me up? Why can't people go to work at 16? Why do they have to be educated to 18? What's all this stupid?
I'll tell you.
This is all because of the government. The government make these requirements. This is why I'm a libertarian. I want the government to stay out of our lives, stay out of the economy, stay out of the NHS,
they don't know what they're doing.
Stay out of education, stop teaching our kids absolute crap in schools. I actually want the government, I want politicians to have as little power as possible.
That
is why I'm a libertarian, and that is why I'm recognising, look, I'm not a politician, I don't have to worry about being popular.
But what you're saying here, though, feels like you're just giving them more money to squander and waste away, because they don't know what they're doing. So taking the pension off people would they'd make it disappear pretty quick.
No, as the person that texted in said, the state pension actually isn't very generous at all. I mean, it's about £150 a week. It's not very much at all. And when we're really thinking about this from the wider perspective here, somebody like Lord Alan Sugar, that £150 means nothing to him, right? He doesn't need it, right? But when we're thinking about this from a wider perspective, that is an enormous amount of money that is being spent that could otherwise be saved. But I have a question for you both.
Do you know what happened under Rishi, though, Reem? Please do remember that and come back to it. But you know what happened under Rishi? It blows my mind. We picked a state school for our kids that had a really good PE because our boys love football, right? And not just that. Fundamentally, I agree with it. I think that we should be doing fitness. I think we should be doing that. The whole world is not solved by people being good at maths. So, and it absolutely winds me up. So, but they cut all that out of the schools. They've cut PE away. They've cut the arts away. They've cut drama away. They've just music, any creative, and they've just said, right, we need to concentrate more maths and English and French and history. And
it's rubbish,
it's
isn't it?
Ridiculous.
To give jobs to French teachers.
Lots of kids have different skills and different perspectives on things, and I basically think the Americans in certain states, I mean, Florida's a really good example of that, where I would basically completely abolish all of the school districting. So we currently have catchment areas where you're only allowed to go to certain schools in your area. I would completely get rid of that and have an actual choice. But basically, I think parents need school choice. And you should be able to choose what the curriculum looks like. If you don't want your children being taught certain things, I think you should have the right to choose a school that is slightly different. And
do you know,
in America, they have actually been able to do that.
Do you know Victoria Starmer opposes selective education? She believes it should purely be based on where you live. Now, let me tell you this about Victoria Starmer. The house where her children grew up, the local primary school has a catchment area of 150 metres, and every single house is worth an average of £10 million.
Oh, really?
And the reality is, and this is what upsets me, about abolition of the grammar schools and things like that. What they do now is they select you on geography rather than on aptitude and talent, and that throws people in Labour boroughs into the pits.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is basically the problem with the lack of school choice. But again, this comes back to my point. This is exactly why I believe in a small state. I want parents to be able to choose where their children go to school. I want patients to be able to choose where they get their healthcare. I want taxpayers, individuals that are working, to be able to choose where their money is spent without government bureaucrats telling them otherwise. This is basically why I believe in economic liberty. And when it comes to a lot of these perspectives here, we have to be honest about what is sustainable and what isn't. So I was going to ask you both, if you disagree with me on the state pension, that's fine. Where would you cut spending?
I've got to be totally honest with you. So I don't particularly disagree with you on the state pension, although I think there is a sequencing issue. I think there is a big issue here, and actually I'm gonna cop out the answer, but I'll cop out it in the following way. I think the real concern is that everything we do now has a higher cost. If you look under Margaret Thatcher, the ability to remove inefficient nationalised businesses was relatively easy. I look at, as an example, I used to work at the Royal Borough of Windsor in Maidenhead. In 1997, it had 500 staff. By 2015, it had 2,500. Right. Now, it didn't substantially increase what it was doing during that period. And I just worry that the way you actually have to slim things down is probably... So my answer would be, I think you've just got to bonfire a lot of red tape. So I don't think there's a particularly sexy answer.
I think the middle management...
Everything it does costs 50 times what it should cost.
It's middle management. It's people within council jobs who don't know what they're doing. That is a massive, massive problem. People who are just coasting along, because sitting
Well,
under
we
the
could,
radar,
we could.
I think that they should be. We shouldn't be bringing people from other countries and supporting them. We can't look after our own people.
I'll tell you one other thing. We'll give Reem the final word, but I do want to say before then something really important. In 1799, Pitt the Younger, that iconic 21-year-old Prime Minister, brought in an income tax. He was going to tax everyone 2 pence in a pound.
I think get rid of tax
over £60. So your first £60 was tax free.
Danielle, if you get rid of taxes,
and what he said was,
Sorry, Reem.
what he said at the time. Let me just finish the point. What he said at the time was that was a temporary 1-year measure. The budget continues to be something that we have to pass annually as a result. Reem, you have the final word.
I absolutely adore you both, and it's very, very sweet. And Danielle, I agree with you on tax. I mean, if we get rid of it all, that's great. But then,
well, from watching it and seeing it in another country, I realise that people will spend their money, and the more money you give them, the more they will spend.
Yes.
Danielle, you've just said we should just get rid of all taxes, but then how are you then going to pay for the state pension?
I'm not an economist.
Come on, you have to pay for it.
I don't know. However, what I do know, I fundamentally believe with all part of me that if you took the taxes, if people didn't pay tax on what they earned, but you made them, I hate saying this, but pay for everything else. Do you know what I mean?
I'll tell you how you could. I'll tell you what you could do. You could go Singapore style. You could get people forced to put money into investments for things like this.
Yes,
Reem, you've got one sentence and we've got to go. They're kicking off about how over the break we are.
Sorry. Very quickly, Singapore have a health savings account, so you do that spending money. I just wanted to quickly add, I've got in front of me the IFS's report on public spending, where things are actually being spent. You guys said, local councils cut it all, migrants cut it all. It's about 12.2% of total public spending that is on pensions. 18% is on health. So even if we do get rid of all of those people in Windsor Council, Andre, it's still a drop in the bucket in comparison to everything else.
Completely agree. Reem, who is the head of media at the IEA, thank you so much.
Reem.
Apologies for massively being over the break. 0344 499 1000 is the number to call. Get to the break now, quick.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Hello, welcome to Talk TV, Talk Radio. I'm Danielle. This is Andre. We're here with you until the wee hours of 1 a.m.
No, we're not. Not the wee hours. No.
Why are we not there here till the wee hours?
The wee hour. not the wee hours, right? You can,
Okay,
you can pee right off with that. Right. I've done that before. Can I tell you the worst night of my life was the last night of the official mourning of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who was clearly great.
Yeah.
But we were still in black tie and all that sort of thing.
It was all still very,
And I had a show they asked me to do from 1 in the morning till 5 in the morning to talk about Queen Elizabeth II. Everything had been said. Nobody had anything left to say. 5 hours.
Pulling teeth.
I think it was. I can't remember whether it was 4 or 5 hours. Can I tell you what? Nobody phoned. Nobody appeared in it. It was almost like, have you ever seen the King's speech where he goes, "However this goes, Logue," and then the light goes on. The light went on 4 or 5 hours later, whatever it was. The light went off, and I just had to crawl out.
Did you just sit in a dark room for a while?
It was 1 a.m. till 6 a.m. That was it. 5 hours, and I just literally talked to myself about Queen Elizabeth II for hours and hours and hours.
Well, our Reem has been on and she's been talking about abolishing the state pension, and she's absolutely wound you guys up. Remember, if you want your say, give us a call. 0344 499 1000 is the number to call us on. We've got a few messages.
She's the smiling assassin.
She really is the smiling assassin, someone says it.
The problem is we need to copy and paste that and make it big, don't we? How do we make that bigger? Do you know what I reckon we could do? Do you reckon we can alter it here? Right, zoom, look at this. Look at that. Look at that bad boy.
No, you zoom too much. No, that's ridiculous.
That's good, that.
Is it?
That's good, look at that.
No, because then you've got to scroll too much. Go back a bit.
All right, OK, come on.
He's gone, do you know what he's gone? He's gone big like your grandma when you pick up a mobile phone.
What, big like your grandma when she gets a bit old and sad? That's not saying that. Big like, look, that's it, look.
Oh, that's better, yeah.
Right, if I move that like that.
That's better. What is Reem on about? I gave up my private pension as part of my divorce, so the state pension is vital to me. Does she seriously want everyone, what have you done to me here? Everyone to save the delivery motorbike riders who haven't even got a licence, sell their homes in order to survive. I've already had to sell it if I need care, while other people will get it for free. Now,
the problem is that, I think, when she said, I'd like to leave something for, I think there is more to that message.
Yes,
but we haven't quite worked out how to do the zooming bit. Let's read that one.
I was at work at 15 years old and never been able to pay into a private pension, always on a low paid wage. That's from Janice in Staffordshire.
Go on, I dare to read that one out.
No.
Go on. No, go on. Cover your chest, someone says.
What is wrong with people? They fed my children. Chill out. You think.
And during the break, I'll be honest,
for children,
if I get a bit hungry during the break as well, which has happened.
How dare a woman have boobs? Like, is it it's Andre and his hairy chest? We'll get
that out again.
Yeah.
Hey, big spender.
Let's not do that.
There we go.
The carpets don't match, the curtains don't match the drapes or whatever.
Well, I'm not dyeing my chest hair.
So hang on.
What is the rule?
Do you dye your hair?
What do you mean, do I dye my hair? Of course I do.
Do you just for men?
It's really obvious from that side, isn't it? No, I didn't just for men it. I bought this expensive one, but I don't know how to use it. So I'm going to go to a proper hairdresser.
So you went for like a nice shade of ginger?
It is. My hair was originally ginger.
But what did you used to do when it was blonde?
Right. This is a bit that people
don't
understand. You can't go grey if you had no black in your hair, right? Do people understand scales of colour, right? If your hair is red, or if it's... And look at Chris Evans now.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got grey hair now, hasn't he?
No, he hasn't. He's got
gingery grey.
Light orange hair.
He's not got light orange.
He has. Look at him.
He's got light orange hair.
Right. Get a picture of Chris Evans.
Excuse me. What eye colour? Hair colour? Light orange.
No, it is.
That's not hair.
If I get
that is not a hair colour.
I get a picture of Chris.
Light orange.
Oh, sorry. Who's Chris? Chris Evans. Chris Evans. Right.
Right. We've got Pat on the line from London. Hi, Pat. You through to talk?
It always comes up, when these fancy voice commentators, about pensions.
Yeah. It's an easy target, isn't it, Pat?
Of course it is an easy... I've been a state pensioner for the last 3 years.
It's light orange.
No, it's white.
It's light.
Chris Evans has clearly got white hair.
It's light orange.
That is not light orange. It is white.
Right,
sorry.
Get that camera.
Sorry, Pat.
Get that camera.
Pat. I'm being sidetracked by a loony.
Can we get that camera?
You know the reason? He's been tangoed.
Yeah.
Light orange.
It's not
very light
it's
orange.
It's white hair, that. It's great white hair. Sorry, Pat.
Anyway.
Yeah, I agree. It's easy to target the pensioner because it's an easy little pot to nick and say, oh, we need it back. You're not allowed it, we need it back.
The thing is that they're like throwing billions at the Chagos Islands. Oh, throw it as much money, and then they're giving Zelensky billions.
Yeah.
In a war he can't never win.
Yep. I completely agree.
He's not doing that badly, right?
And I think
Because all the Russians will do is just throw more men at it, like they did when Hitler in 1941 put 3 million German soldiers in, and they still couldn't beat them.
it's in the billions, isn't it, that we're giving to the Ukraine?
Well,
Is that
I've got to be honest with you. I'm kind of in favour of supporting Ukraine. Yeah, why is it the
I know,
Ukraine?
it's my fault. I made
No,
a
it's not.
mistake.
It's not.
It's Ukraine.
No. We always called it the Ukraine
Do you know
and
why?
the Lebanon.
Because it was a collection of. Is that right?
I've no idea.
I
But
think
also,
it was.
I've noticed
like
that.
the UK.
Have you noticed that Asian people often call it "I live in the Slough" or whatever? Right? Yeah, they do use the word there. Anyway, I support Ukraine. I think it's a good idea simply because if Vladimir Putin is allowed to run roughshod over Ukraine, and by the way, they managed.
But at the same time, just cut all our pensioners.
No, but in 18 months, when you talk about Putin winning, in 18 months he's gone from 19% of Ukrainian territory to 20% of Ukrainian territory. Yeah, the point is there is a role for national security as well. I'd rather pay for the military than pay for pensions.
Yeah, but the point is that comes under defence spending.
Yeah,
Instead of spending on our military and our armaments, like the ammunition that we have. I mean, you're giving the money to other people.
Well, it is also worth pointing out that a lot of the equipment that we've given to them is out of date anyway. So as an example, if you look at the Typhoon fighters that have been given to, I don't know whether it's a Typhoon, but whatever, the modern jets they've given to Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, that's in exchange for giving the old MiGs, Soviet-era MiGs, to Ukraine, which they weren't using anyway, really.
Yeah, but you still got to put missiles and cannon shells in them.
Not going free.
I mean, what you've got, a Sidewinder or an AMRAAM missile, you're talking about like nearly £500,000 a go.
Yeah. Pat, I completely agree. We could chat about it all night. However, we do have to go to a break. But stay there and we're back in a sec.
across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Hello, welcome back to Talk TV, Talk Radio. I'm Danielle Nichols. This is Andre Walker.
It is, yeah.
We're here with you till 1 a.m. and we're here to take your calls. Call us on 0344 499 1000 if you have something to say. Now, we had Reem on before, Reem Ibrahim, who said that we should abolish the state pension, which I believe has wound up Tina from Birmingham. Is that right?
Come on,
Hi, Tina, you're through
Arena.
to talk.
Well, I'm so angry. I've been to work 49 years. I only had 7 months off with my child. And
Yeah.
that was without pay. And I'm due to have my pension next year. And how dare she tell me I'm not entitled to it?
I agree.
She's only been probably out of been to university, so she's probably not been at work long. And a lot of them who are going to university will never.
Is she in her
pay back.
mid-20s, Reem?
Oh,
I think,
no.
yeah. She's in her mid-20s.
I think she's younger than that.
Is she younger than that?
She's 14. No, I'm joking.
All right, very
No,
clever.
so, I mean,
No.
she don't know what she's talking about. They're wasting that. She wants to get. They want to get rid of all this government because they're just wasting money. And the pensioners here are the lowest paid in the EU.
Do you know what? I don't understand how she can say, like, the system is fundamentally failing, and I don't understand how she can go, let's give them some more money to waste away. She's 22, Reem. Okay, sorry.
And also, a name means brilliant in Essex. So,
yeah, it's
what
Reem.
more do you need?
Well, you know, and saying about selling your house, the thing is, a lot of the old uns have been in them houses from day one. They've never moved.
Yeah.
Tina,
All the
Tina,
council tax and
You
everything.
shouldn't have to sell your house.
Tina, can I ask you this?
Yeah.
What happens? What happens if I turn around to you and say that? Honestly, if I turn around to you and say that child poverty is rising, that the number of kids who will go to sleep tonight hungry is higher than it's been really since social security began in this country. The gap between the rich and the poor has increased massively. What happened if I said to you, yeah, I am going to force older people to sell their houses. I am going to take the state pension off millionaires, but I'm going to give that money to the children in this country who've got nothing.
Well, to that answer, Andre, I chose to only have one because I couldn't afford to have any more. And my parents brought me up, if you can't have the kids, then don't have
But
them.
that's not the fault of the child.
No, that's the child of the parents. They should take precautions.
You see, why do we think we should punish people? Where's the incentivizing? Where's encouraging? I would encourage by giving people benefits, as in, if you have a big house and you sell it...
There are certain
then
benefits
there
to having
should
lots
be-
of kids.
There should be... Shut up, you. There should be benefits then that you're entitled to, or you should have... They basically could incentivise it.
Friends with benefits. You should have friends with benefits.
They should incentivise people who are older, living in big houses, selling the house.
Yeah, but the thing is, Andre, I've bought my house, so why should I sell it? I've gone without things.
Well, okay. So,
It belongs to her.
So I understand that, but what we are fundamentally saying, and this is what I said to Reem, but I'm going to flip it on its head. I made the point to Reem. There are people who will be listening right now who are 80 years old and live in £1 million house on their own, right? There will be people who are doing that. Now, fundamentally, what Reem is talking about is, yes, it will be inconvenient for you to sell your house and pay for yourself, assuming you have no other income, by the way, which you may well have. But at the same time, the fact that you want to live in £1 million house shouldn't be a reason why I, or indeed an 18-year-old who's on minimum wage, should be paying for your pension.
Yeah, but I paid for my pension.
Yeah.
For
No,
49
you
years.
see, that's
I know,
the problem.
but that's what
That's the
people
problem.
feel like.
Wait,
They
20 years ago, when you paid into your pension, 19 and 48 weeks later, 19 and 48 weeks ago, it was lost. The average amount of time the money stays in the pension pot is 4 weeks. Therefore,
Yeah, but that's
the problem is no matter how much you say you have paid in and now you're merely withdrawing that money, it simply isn't true.
Well, if I put all that money into a pot,
Well, it's all gone.
and got all interest on it, I get a damn sight more than the pension I'm going to get.
But the problem is, Tina, and this is, so I don't agree with Reem on everything she says, but the reality is this is the fundamental unfairness, because when it was called national insurance, people thought it was an insurance policy. They thought they paid in and they thought the money still exists. The reality is your children will pay into a state pension and never receive it. There is no prospect whatsoever. And so what will happen is, long after we're gone, well, maybe not after we're gone, but...
Well, it feels like you're saying that that's other people's expense.
But what will
it's not Tina's fault that they're idiots.
Yeah, but what will happen in practice is your children will pay Tina's pension and receive no pension themselves. That is what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen. Anyway, Tina in Birmingham, thank you so much. We're going to go to a break, and then we're going to go to Anna McGovern, who's going to talk about the Women's Safety Initiative, an organisation we love and try to support. Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Hello, welcome back to Talk. I'm Danielle, this is Andre, and we're here taking your calls and interviewing guests. If you want to give us a call, it's 0344 499 1000.
Right, I'm sorry, you've just got to continue with that, right? So I wanted to know in the break,
yes.
Right, sorry, this is so Alan Partridge bad, why I watched Superman every Saturday for 5 years with my little brother.
Right.
The same film.
I used to work on children's television, as did our producer Chuck, and he'll know this as well. Repeats do just as well, if not better, than the first time round, because children, if they've enjoyed it the first time, they know they're going to enjoy it again, and they get almost a little bit more enjoyment knowing what's coming next. So it almost does better the second time around. So children genuinely enjoy watching something that they've watched the first time and enjoyed.
I watched an interview with Paul Chuckle, you know, one half of the Chuckle brothers, because obviously Barry's dead, and he said that was a terrible problem for him, because he went into ITV and they went, no, the repeats are doing better than the new stuff.
See?
It's like, oh, you've sacked me.
They genuinely, if I think about it, it was exactly the same. They genuinely are just happy to have, I remember this one, it's good, this. And they enjoy it just as much, if not more, than the
OK, now look, we think that the Women's Safety Initiative, which is a group of young women who've come together to try and defend women's safety in the face of uncontrolled immigration, we think they're doing a brilliant job. I've sent them a couple of quid. It's not an enormous sum, not a game-changing amount, but I'm glad to have done it. Anyway, they've done some research this week that 1 in 10 people believe foreign sex offenders should remain in the UK. No, I'm only joking. They've discovered that 90% of people, 9 out of 10, want foreign sex offenders out of Britain. So I guess I've got two questions for Anna McGovern from the Women's Safety Initiative. First of all, what on earth were the other 1 in 10 thinking? But more importantly, why is it that Keir Starmer and the government are so out of touch with the British public on this subject?
So this was a survey that was commissioned by Find Out Now, and the findings were published in the Telegraph. So it's nearly 9 in 10 voters support deportation of foreign sex offenders. And this comes from a place from women. I think they feel there's feeling increasingly unsafe in their communities. We're seeing high scale of mass immigration come into the UK, and I think more and more people, they've just had enough. They fear for their safety, and they feel like the government aren't doing enough to act on it. No divisive action. We're just hearing a lot of sound bites. It's not actually being followed through by anything that's actually helping these people. And this particularly, so with the Women's Safety Initiative, we specifically focus on women and giving them a voice and to share their experiences, because it's just becoming an increasing danger.
Anna, absolutely 100% agree with everything you're saying. I think the interesting thing is that sometimes when you go abroad to different countries, you understand that people are different, and you will maybe dress accordingly, or just have an awareness, or be a little bit savvy. And then when that's on your own doorstep, I think it's really sad, especially when you haven't had to be like that in the past, and now suddenly you have to behave that way.
Yeah, 100%. And I think this is why we formed the Women's Safety Initiative, because this was becoming an increasing problem. So we have over 700 members now who have joined. And for many women, they fear for their safety. I've spoken to so many women day to day who each have their own stories about how they felt unsafe, how they felt at risk, and it's incredibly harrowing. So this is why we formed, because women have had enough, and this is a platform to hold. But
shouldn't I perhaps, people will say I'm going to be facetious for this, but shouldn't I put to you the alternative argument, which is whilst obviously, as we know, there is a disproportionate number of people who come to this country who commit sex crimes, but fundamentally not everyone who comes to the country is a sex criminal, and therefore isn't the level of criminality a price worth paying to protect refugees? I don't believe that, but I think I have to put that point to you, because that's what Keir Starmer really thinks.
Exactly, and I think the problem as well is that we are en masse importing people from countries that do not have the same culture or respect for women. I was reading where some of them actually had to be taken through PowerPoint presentations about how to conduct themselves and how to be with women, and because their culture is completely different there, and that's why we're seeing this increase happening.
I mean, I think actually, Anna, you are the canary in the coal mine. I really do, because I think if a woman dressed in quite a normal way, because let's be clear, Anna, you don't walk around looking like Lilo Lil off what was the other one? Yeah, Brett. No, the other one. I'm a Madeline. Anyway, you don't walk around. Aveline. You don't walk around looking like somebody who's dressing provocatively. And by the way, I believe it is your right to dress provocatively if that's what you want. We're talking about people who actually, it's not they don't know how to behave amongst women. They are so alien to this country that in no respect whatsoever will they ever be able to integrate properly. They will always be and how they are mitigating that is to create effectively tribal areas where they continue with their own culture, continue with their own language, and continue with their own religion. And I just think what we have to say is, look, the real reason these grooming gangs are doing what they're doing is because they shouldn't be in the country. And actually, we have to start saying the culture of this country needs to be a question when it comes to entering the country. If you're not somebody who wants to speak English, if you're not somebody who fancies watching rugby or having warm beer, watching the cricket on a Saturday, then actually really Pakistan, Bangladesh, Algeria might be a better place for you to be. Because also I think the other point we need to make is, you probably won't enjoy it in the UK if you are a radical fundamentalist who wants your wife to walk around the burqa.
I think all of those are completely accurate points, and I think as well in this country, we've just reached a point where the government are not acting on this. That's why we're seeing so many protests as well happening across the UK.
Because people don't feel
outside the
safe.
hotel.
Anna, as well, I'll put this to you because I've noticed this. My cousin is very, very fair, very, 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 very light-skinned, naturally blonde hair. He's quite unusual, obviously, but I think blonde girls suffer it even. I've noticed it even more with her. Mm-hmm. It's even harder for her.
Well, let's just be clear. The Islamic slave markets of the Middle Ages. That's what was prized. They sold the palest women and children they could.
Can I just put this to you? Again, this is definitely not what I agree with. But I did hear an interview weirdly with Anne Widdecombe, and someone put this to her. The idea that if you convict somebody for a sex crime and then a foreign sex offender, and then you send them back to their country, what's to say that their country will not enforce the crime and that they can just come back over as an illegal immigrant?
Well, exactly. I think another point as well is that we don't know who these people are that are coming over en masse. We don't know what they've done, and again, this is why when you've got undocumented men coming into the country and you're putting them up in hotel, yes, that's going to put people at risk.
Not just that, putting them all together.
Yeah.
Which is another thing, because you're not. It becomes a gang. It becomes a club. There's strength in numbers.
But there's no women to put them with, because the problem is, unlike genuine refugees, they've left the women and children at home.
But everyone knows that when boys board together, the same thing happens. Like they bring out the worst in each other.
Mm. I love the way Hannah just stopped there.
Just like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a reasonable point.
Absolutely.
Anna, look, so just to be clear on the Women's Safety Initiative, are you, and I don't mind which of these it is, by the way, are you opposed to, are you campaigning against foreign sex criminals, or are you simply saying the level of immigration, the quality of immigration, and the profile, cultural, economic, and social profile of these people is just incompatible with the safety of women?
Well, what we do at the Women's Safety Initiative is that we're an organisation that brings women together that are concerned about the scale of mass immigration in this country, and so that's what we do as well, is that we go through individual cases as well. We raise awareness of these issues and hold those people to account, and that's why we had so many women join, because they were so concerned about the safety and their own safety in the community, and the fact that the government weren't doing that much to really act on it. And we've got supporters as well, not just
How sad that this has to happen, though, Anna. How sad that this is the way it has to go, because we've worked so hard, haven't we? Like, women have fought so hard for our rights, and it's declining now.
Women's rights.
Yeah, exactly.
Women's rights declining.
Yeah.
Okay, Anna, how do we follow you? Because we just want everybody to support you tonight.
Oh, brilliant. So we're the Women's Safety _UK, and my handle is Anna McGovern UK.
Perfect. Okay, so it's Women's Safety _UK on Twitter or X. Please do support that and follow that. By the way, I just wanted to say to you, congratulations to Gawain Towler, who was on last night, who was elected to the Reform UK board, along with Darren Grimes and Dan Barker. Dan Barker being, do you remember the bloke from Greater Manchester who defected from Conservatives?
All right.
We'll be back with Lois McClatchy-Miller, 0344 499 1000, straight after this.
across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Hello, welcome back to Talk. I'm Danielle, this is Andre, and every Friday at 11 o'clock we play tribute to the one and only James Whale.
Yes, this is what we call the Weekly Whale, but before we introduce it, where he argues with the climate change activists, by the way, we want you to suggest some of your favourite clips. Just to be clear, the Women's Safety Initiative, I think we got it slightly wrong there. It's actually Women Safety _UK. So it's Women Safety _UK on Twitter or X. Okay, well, look. Please do get in touch with us. If you've got any suggestions, you can tweet me at Andre JP Walker, at Loud Danielle, and we will try and play the Weekly Whale that you've chosen. There's so many of them, but let's, I guess, take it away. Go for it, James.
I believe that everybody should be entitled to heat, to food, to a house, to feel safe.
And who's going to pay for this?
And at the moment,
who's going to pay for it?
It's not about paying for it.
Yes, it is. Who's going to pay for it?
At the moment, we are being absolutely annihilated by the companies who run the oil and gas. Now, if you look at the...
You're talking rubbish, you do know that. Are you slightly
Absolutely
socialist?
I'm not even going to say... I'm independent.
You're independent.
Why
right.
is it rubbish
Let me
that
ask
everybody
you the question.
should eat
No, listen to me.
and have food? I'll listen to you.
Me.
That's fine.
The problem the world has, the planet has, there are too many human beings on it.
There are. So
Far
what
too
would
many.
you say?
Well, I just suggest that it's not the best thing in the world populating the planet, and people maybe have to...
So you're suggesting genocide,
Not,
James?
absolutely not. Maybe
What are you
before you have
suggesting?
a child, you
Don't
have
have
to
children.
You have to
But
prove
we've
that
already
you...
got the children, so we've already got the problem,
we need
James.
to be a little more careful.
So what do we do?
Well, what do we do
now?
Is
Stop
we
having
actually
them now.
stop having them now. Probably
I'm not
for a
talking
while.
about having them now,
But
and
what
I
we have
agree
to-
with that.
yeah,
We need
what
to
we
think
have
about
to do-
measures. But
what we have to do-
the people that we've got now.
Yeah,
what do we do, James?
Well, we have to
What's your
try and look
solution?
after them. But where
But
is
I
the
just
money coming
said-
from? Where's the money coming from? Why should we look after the lazy sods who can't be bothered to go out and get work?
The lazy
And what about these prats who are coming over to this country in rubber boats trying to get stuff free?
You've really gone down in my estimation.
No, I've always been like this.
I see you
You've
as
not
like
really
a bit of a
Googled me
hero.
properly.
Yeah, you haven't
Who's
Googled him
fighting
enough.
cancer.
Why?
Like I really have.
You need to Google it further.
The lazy prat.
Hang on,
So,
I'm not fighting
James,
cancer at all. I'm not
James,
fighting cancer.
you're
I have
beating it.
cancer. I'm not beating it.
All right.
I have cancer. It's terminal. It will kill me, and that's fine. That's my life.
That's not fine. I think
That's
you're
fine.
great.
That's my life's path. I've had cancer. I had it first 25 years ago. Some people get it. I'm 72 next birthday.
And you
I've had a
look
great
great.
life.
Yeah, you have.
And there are children. We were talking
But
to my
how
mate
dare
Charlie,
you
but
say to
listen,
me-
No, how dare you?
How do I?
I'm actually annoyed when people say, "Oh, you're fighting." Listen, I am who I am.
Well, I'm sorry
You
I
don't have
pushed
to
your
feel
button
sorry
there.
for me.
I don't feel sorry for
good.
you.
Now
I
go back
admire
to the
you.
question.
So
Don't
you
go
say
back
to
to
me,
the question. Listen
how
to me.
dare-
Listen to me. Who is paying for all of this?
Can we stop
Where is the
talking
money
about
coming
money
from?
for a minute?
Not really, no, because the money needs to be there.
Right, say you've got children who are coming across the channel.
Hardly
you
any.
actually just said hardly any. One child who died. One child is too many.
That is
That's why they
too
shouldn't
many.
be doing it.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be
Listen
risking
to
their
Ash.
If they're
children.
going
Listen
away
to
from
Ash.
a war-torn
They're not.
They're in
country.
France.
Stop! You're
They're in
on there every
France.
week. Listen to me.
Go. Now, I've had enough of you. Go. No, off the
No,
air
I
now.
don't want to.
No, I have had
this is
enough.
your way of going.
I
like,
have
I'm
had
just going to drop
enough.
my pen.
You're in here under you shush. You're in here under false pretenses. You've made up a story to get on the air. I have now
I've
had
been here
enough of you.
6 years doing all the
I've had
stories.
enough of you, and you need to be treated like this by the media because you're a pain in the backside. You're not even really in any charge of you. You don't know what you're talking about. You've got some stupid. Could you come and remove this guest, please? Now, No, we can't keep her for another 10 minutes. I don't have the patience to keep her for another 10 minutes. I'm not aggressive. I've got more important things to do.
I don't. I think about people's lives.
Oh, for goodness sake. If you're not taking her, I'm going. Because I've had enough, to be honest. I don't... And I'm serious about this. Right, what is your name? What is your real name?
Deborah Hodge. Was born in 1973, 20th of March.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
No,
what do you hope to achieve with this ridiculous stupidity?
Because
these people
media doesn't print the real stuff. Climate change is happening.
Climate change is not happening.
Of course it is.
You're talking rubbish. Where did you learn this?
Oh my gosh! Because I'm a scientist. I have a scientist mind.
You're
really,
scientist mind.
James. This is great viewing.
And it's not great viewing for me. I cannot get them to remove you because they think it's funny.
What have I done? Like,
you talk rubbish. You've conned your way in using a poor cat and saying, I've married a cat.
Your wife stroked my pussy and was like, your cat's lovely. Your wife is lovely.
Yeah.
Your wife is lovely. You're lovely.
Yes. You won't get around me like this. This is ridiculous. I don't want to get around you. This is ridiculous. Somebody's going to say to me, how long did you rehearse
I tweeted you the other day, why didn't you actually Google me? If you look at my... I
don't need to Google you. I was having a special little interview with you.
A little interview.
You're not funny. How can you be a comedian? You're not even funny.
Sacha Baron Cohen wasn't funny. I've done way more than him, but I've not got Hollywood behind me.
You're not funny.
I've been in the press
but you're not funny.
times.
But you're not funny.
You're not finding me funny.
No, nobody knows
people
finds you
watching
funny.
this are probably going...
Yeah, so you've used me...
I've not used you.
To get yourself even more publicity on the highest-rated nighttime show in the country. You have come in here...
I did not want to use you.
Well, you've used me, and I'm wondering if they've set me up out there.
They really haven't. They've got no idea.
When we get the break, they can get you out.
Food, should have heat, should have somewhere to live, should have security.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about who's going to pay for it.
What are we going to do about the Russian problem?
The Russian problem, there's always going to be a war, James.
Yeah?
There's always
going
to be a war. I would like to talk to the oligarchs and just calm them down.
Back in, come on. Hang on, why are you bringing...
Oh, are we back now?
Why are they coming back?
Calm down,
calm down.
Absolutely.
Why are you furious?
But I was enjoying just talking to this woman.
But why are you furious? What have I done?
I don't know. I don't know.
What have I done?
Nothing.
I've been doing this for 6 years. All you needed to do was Google Deborah Hodge.
I know.
I never married a cardboard cutout of Richard Branson. I never married my house. I never did any of that because I'm speaking out against the unfair treatment of people on benefits. If you look on this morning,
the unfair treatment of people on benefits. Don't you push your hand at me like that. I don't like it.
I'm so sorry.
I should think so. It's very difficult having this sort of interview with a woman because everybody will be saying he's bullying. You know, if I have...
But you are a bully. That's the persona you made in the media.
I don't consider what I do as being...
But it is.
I don't believe everything you read on Google.
No,
I don't believe everything you read about me. I'm a nice person.
Well, you did say you married a cat.
But I didn't. I made it up. No one checked it. Like, who's going to, so what?
Well, it sounded...
Could you put that microphone in between the two of you straight? It's annoying me.
It sounded real.
Bent microphones annoy me.
At the end of the day, I am fighting for people who are...
Yeah.
We're the Tory party, and I know you like Boris.
Okay, if you were if you were Prime Minister, what would you actually... Sit back by the microphone, you can't hear you there.
Right now...
What would you actually do?
Right now, the first thing I would do, I would call in the Ombudsman, and not the police. I would look at where the money was going, the PPE, COVID, where it all went. I would look at where the money went. I would sort the NHS.
While you're doing that, people are starving. So what are you doing on the interim?
I would not be doing that because I am not a financial ombudsman. The second thing that I would do is make sure that people like myself who got sacked, I'm living on absolutely nothing, right? I would make sure that they were not paying the extortionate rates. Why is the government paying the oil industries £10 billion a year?
They're sorting them because they've done deals like this. The whole world, it's a world thing. It's not a country thing.
I would stop that.
Would you open up the coal mines again? I would.
No.
Would you frack? I would.
Because I wouldn't.
Would you frack?
No.
Would you bring in more oil from the North Sea?
No.
Then you're completely stupid.
Why is that stupid? Why is that
that's gonna
stupid?
lower the cost of
Everybody,
all the
okay,
energy
can I
bills.
just say to everyone else watching this right now who believes in climate change and you don't, and I would say back to you, and with all
Did you actually say I don't believe in climate change?
No, you don't believe
Don't
in
make him
climate change.
No, is that
again.
what you
He'll
said
be
about me?
furious again.
Yeah.
You are remarkably
Fracking?
ignorant. Do you know, the climate has changed ever since the climate came.
In the
climate
last
changes
50
continually.
years, it has completely. If we get to 1.5 degrees,
Talking rubbish.
I am
rubbish.
Got to
and I know that everybody watching this, all the climate change people on Twitter will be going, yeah, she's right.
Yeah.
You
No, they
are
won't.
talking rubbish.
But
I'm
they can
really
do
sorry,
that.
James.
They can do that
You
because they
are.
have no idea what they're talking
And
about.
I can say this to you,
And-
you are talking rubbish. You are talking absolute
Oh, my
rubbish.
God.
And I'm so sorry to say this, but you are talking rubbish. Research your climate change. Research your climate change.
What about nuclear power? Would you bring nuclear?
No.
But no, it's good now. They've got small
Absolutely
Rolls-Royce
not.
nuclear power stations would solve this oil crisis.
But
the CO2.
let's look
that would
at
solve it.
wind.
I've actually, guys, I've had enough of her now. I'm being quite serious. No more messing about. I want her out of the studio because she couldn't organise a party in a brewery, and I really
Quite hard to
cannot be
do that.
bothered with this stupidity anymore because there is no fact behind what you're saying.
There really
There
is.
is
There's
no
absolutely.
fact.
If you let me speak on the facts. The government that you support, Boris, that you support, they want to bring in 40 new fossil fuel plans this year.
He's very
40
green,
new.
Boris. He's a net zero. We're trying.
Oh, he's really not.
Boris
Really?
is one
wife
of
is.
Boris's
His wife.
failings is
Boris's
he
wife?
hasn't been tough
How many years ago?
enough on these climate
James.
activists, so-called.
But
because
why do you
we
so
have to
incendiary? Why don't you look
understand-
at facts of scientists?
Do you
why
agree
don't
with
you?
those that stick
Turning
their
it
hands
isn't
to
true.
the...
No, I don't. The thing is, like, we agree on this. You made a tweet the other day. I actually
Get me some
agree.
water, guys. Cause,
I actually agree that sticking your hands. I was working for Reading Employment, and the guys stuck their hands to the motorway, so I didn't get home till 10 o'clock at night. And I've got an 8-year-old, and it was really disruptive to my life. It was really disruptive for Amelia. I really didn't like that, and I was annoyed.
Later.
Okay, but if we were actually, as a government, talking about climate change and actually changing things so they didn't have to the extremities. Peter Carmus, David Attenborough, is he talking out of his bum?
Yeah, I think he
bottom?
does actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
do
a lot of
you?
People think
Are
he's
you
a saint.
mad?
He was just the head of BBC Two, and he goes,
Seems
"I need someone to travel all over the world, going to amazing places. I think the best man for the job is me." And that's what he did 60 years ago.
He had a few
He's
free
not-
holidays.
He just goes around the world, and then we go,
Have you
"Oh,
seen
David,
the
if
film
David
Don't Look
Attenborough
Up? I
says
feel
it."
like I'm in a set right now.
David
Don't Look
Attenborough
Up.
says it must
Have
be
you
true.
seen that film, Don't Look Up?
Charlatan.
Have you seen that? Don't Look Up. It's a bit like that. No, seriously. I
Can't
don't mean
believe
to
everything David
condescend to
Attenborough
you.
says. Why do you believe him? Just because he goes.
Why don't
"Here
I
we
believe him?
are."
Because he's travelled the world. Okay, so facts.
He's done more air
So-
miles than anyone on Earth.
So
He's released
Sydney-
CO2.
But
those,
tons of
yeah,
CO2.
has had 2 floods that has not happened for thousands of years. America,
Well, we don't know
hundreds of
that,
millions of
though, do we?
people were told to stay indoors for however long. You know, we are going to hit. It's all ice creams and lollipops in Europe.
Well, that's what we need
Europe.
more of them.
But it's not like
Especially
that.
weather like this.
Why can you not see the facts? We are heading for global destruction.
Right, I've had enough of you. I'm sorry
Thank
that
you for
my
having
team
enough
made a
of me.
mistake in inviting you on the show. You are
have me again.
absolutely appalling. I won't have you again. You're not funny. There's nothing I like about you at all. I just hope you look after
your
that
wife,
cat
though.
properly.
Of course I
And
will.
I'm just appalled about the whole thing, to be quite honest. And looking at Twitter, nobody likes you either.
That's fine.
Although I'm sure on your Twitter they'll all love you because they'll
That's
know who
absolutely
you
fine,
are.
James. I really.
We'll take a break. I've had enough.
I remember when she came in.
She looks like Boy George.
It was
She
a bit
does.
Crazy. I remember.
She
Yeah.
didn't marry a cat. That's just made up.
Yeah, she's
Right,
did
okay.
that for publicity.
Lois McClatchy-Miller is going to be on in a couple of minutes, but I just want to remind you that every single Friday at 11 o'clock, we're going to have a permanent memorial to James Well. Well, it's partly a memorial because obviously feelings are a bit raw and emotional at the moment, but in the fullness of time, I think it will be proved to be such good content.
Yes.
And we've got thousands of
He's
clips.
looking
just
banging there as well.
thousands.
He's looking good there.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well, obviously we all miss James, but it is great. Do you know, his wife said that, you know. She said one of
nice
the
to
only
see,
things that's good about this situation is if I ever miss hearing from him. There's such a big back catalogue. I could spend the next month just watching and listening. Anyway, we're going to be back with Lois McClatchy-Miller, who's been campaigning really hard against abortion, straight after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Hello, welcome back to Talk. I'm Danielle, this is Andre. We're here with you till 1 a.m. And Andre's currently, what were you doing then, yawning? Were you yawning?
I was not yawning.
Is that my company?
Yeah, it was actually.
Cheeky.
Right, how's your brew?
Lovely. You made me a coffee. That's the first time you've made me a brew. Thank you.
I've made you happy many times before.
It's possibly...
Why would I have flobbed in your brew?
I don't know.
I love that phrase.
I don't care if you have. I'm still drinking it.
Really?
Honestly.
What, you like?
Do you know what? That's what happens when you're a mum, because the amount of times you lick what you think is chocolate.
Oh, that's not true.
It happens as a mum. There's all sorts. There's all sorts. You get pooed on. You get weed on. You just get that used to it. I remember snot, everything.
Do you know the worst thing that I ever read, and he's never explained it since. Do you remember Lord Ashcroft, the billionaire financier who was Conservative Party chairman?
Right.
He tweeted one morning, I don't know whether he was drunk from the night before or something, but he said, that is the last time I ever take laxatives and sleeping pills on the same night. Right, now, he didn't explain what had happened.
Well, I think we know what happened.
But one can only assume.
I think we know what happened.
Sorry, Lord Ashcroft,
someone had to wash that bed
Are you
in.
admitting to pooing the bed? Right, yeah.
Do you know what, though? It's happened to all of us at some point. What? No, I mean, people poo themselves. When you have a dicky tummy... Are you saying you've never had an accident?
I've never woke up having filth myself. No.
I mean, you've never had an accident in your life. Tell the truth. In your pants. Tell the truth.
Oh, well, I've done the whole...
I thought
it was flat.
Everyone's had an accident.
I've done the whole, I thought it was flat.
Thought it was just going to be a pump and then you've risked it, yeah.
But I
can't risk it.
I haven't woken up and gone, what's that? Oh, my God.
Well,
I shouldn't have taken laxatives and sleep.
My husband likes to tell this story and embarrass me.
Does he really?
But I had traumatised bowel when I had my first baby. And that basically your bowel goes into spasm and then you don't know that you need the toilet.
Right, can I ask you this question?
So he likes to tell a story about how we had this beautiful cream carpet and he thinks it's hysterical. This is his story that he tells at dinner parties. And he said the bathroom was obviously a tiled surface and he said she didn't make it to the bathroom. And I was like, I gave birth to your children.
I had a friend of mine and he said that his wife had this, I think, 20-week scan or something. No, 24-week scan, whatever it was. Anyway, the baby ended up very premature and they had to do a caesarean section and they said the baby wouldn't have survived if they hadn't done the scan. But he said his wife had this curtain over her and he said on one side she was there because she was having the caesarean, she wasn't in any pain.
Yeah.
And he said she was there smiling. And on the other side was the opening scenes from Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
Right? My
husband said...
How was it going?
His advice to new dads is don't go down the business end because it changes the way you...
Do you know what Robbie Williams once said? He said, watching my child being born was like watching my favourite pub being set fire to.
Yes. But you know what? It's funny how quickly they get over it.
Okay, well, that was nice, wasn't it? We must do that.
I'm just making it real for all the mummies out there.
We must do that. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I had a friend of mine who said in the end he could probably have just wiped up poo and stuck it in his top pocket because he became so desensitised to these kids doing this, that, and the other.
Do you know what? Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
I remember you sometimes when you're giving birth as well. I remember my husband very cleverly just cleaned away the mat and put it in the bin quick. And I went, have I pooed? And he went, no, you haven't. I knew I had. I knew I had.
I'll be honest with you, that would have been one of my first questions. Is the midwife going to go, oh, have we given birth yet? You haven't given birth, no. No, you haven't. That's not. You're squeezing the wrong one.
Oh.
But anyway, that is dreadful, isn't it?
Look, life is messy. And I think it annoys me that we gloss over it and don't talk about the mess. Life's messy, that's...
Well, it's worth it for your lovely kids. And congratulations once again to your son, Ellis, who passed his GCSEs.
Passed all of his GCSEs, yay!
He passed all of them. He even passed French, which, by the way...
Spanish. He got a B in Spanish.
Yeah, don't bother with that.
Which is not a B, it's a number. 6 or something.
I remember. Well, it's normally a number 2 as far as I'm concerned. But it's Spanish. But anyway,
not a 6 in Spanish. I don't know why it's numbers. It's stupid.
Oh, it's silly. Okay, look, we've had a bit of a laugh, but free speech is under threat in this country, and the United States of America is concerned and so concerned that it's actually thinking of taking steps against the United Kingdom. Just to explain something, this online safety bill means that they have to age restrict content from American companies based in America with servers in America, and if they don't do what the British government want, they can be fined £18 million or 10% of their entire global turnover, whichever is more.
What?
Right? Which is completely mad, and the Vice President of the United States is extremely concerned about it, along with the silent praying as well. Lois McClatchy-Miller is a campaigner on various women's issues, family issues and Christian issues. Lois, I mean, a lot of this is aimed at, online hurtful content, but also the United States of America is concerned about the silent prayer prohibition as well. Tell us your take on the whole thing.
Yeah, I think as we've seen over the last few years, the British public have been shocked and dismayed at citizens being arrested just for standing there thinking thoughts in their own head. Last year we saw Adam Smith Connor, an army veteran who just stopped to pray for a few minutes in remembrance of his son near an abortion facility, and as a consequence of that, 3 minutes of prayer led to a 4-day trial and a criminal conviction with a fine of £9,000 for this army veteran. I think most people looked at that and couldn't believe it, but thankfully our friends across the Atlantic also thought this was ridiculous, and Adam showed up in one of J.D. Vance's first ever international speeches. He called out the UK for having punished his silent prayer. And now, again, this is one of several times the US have reached out to the UK, calling them out for restricting free speech. It really isn't a joke anymore. It's not, a bunch of sideline fringe issue campaigners raising the alarm. This is something that across the world, everybody is seeing and everyone is concerned about.
I mean, there's loads of issues here, because obviously you're concerned about the silent prayer. They are in America. Now, one thing, I just want to be very clear about these abortion clinics, and something, by the way, you pointed out, Danielle, that obviously people who have late-term miscarriages may have to go to abortion clinics. So I would warn anybody that the person that's walking past you may very well not be what you think they are. But in any case, in the United States of America, there are some extremists with megaphones. That doesn't happen in the UK, or certainly it doesn't happen on a regular basis. This guy, Adam Smith Connor, was his own child had been aborted inside that particular facility, and he liked to stop there as a memorial every now and again. Praying silently in his head is disgusting. So we could talk about that. We can talk about the online safety bill and the dangers to the United States of America. We could also talk about something which I find extraordinary. Wikipedia, who are now saying, because they have some of their section talks about things like suicide and adult content, in the United Kingdom, if they are classified as a Schedule 1 internet provider, the level of moderation they will have to put on their system will exceed their total global turnover, and so Wikipedia will be turned off in the UK. Or we could talk about, finally, that as you predicted 3 weeks ago, they've already got a company which was doing facial recognition to get onto a website where all the faces have leaked. and these were women who were going on
It was obvious that was going to happen.
website where you could check out the background of your partner to make sure he wasn't a registered sex offender or whatever. And those photos have now been leaked on 4chan, which is bit of 4chan is particularly misogynistic. So we've got it all, Lois. So the floor is yours. I mean, you can say anything. I know that's a long-winded introduction, but we've got everything wrong going on.
Take your pick, you're right. And the State Department used the words egregious violations of free speech. Now, in the past, we really have never had anything like that from a friend diplomatically. Normally, these kind of terms are reserved for, people being put on death row in Nigeria or Pakistan for speaking about their faith. We're normally used to kind of criticizing abroad when it comes to violations of human rights. But no, the US aren't looking abroad right now. They're looking at us and saying that we have that same level of egregious restriction, and good for them, because you've listed all that today, Andre, and we see Lucy Connolly released just from prison, is it today or yesterday, and the silent prayer cases rumble on. There's 4 or 5 now in Scotland. Last week there was the Scottish authorities finally decided not to prosecute a 75-year-old grandmother who had held a sign saying "Here to talk if you want," offering a conversation. Not shouting, not even speaking, just offering a chat within 200 meters of a hospital. And she was investigated for about 6 months before Scottish authorities decided to finally drop her case. And so this is kind of punishment by process, right? If they can't put you in jail for what you've said or not, they'll drag it out. But
that's the worry. That's the worry, Lois, with the Trevor Jones case. So I will say straight away that when he said what he said about slitting the throats of his opponents, I personally didn't think that was I don't think that he should be criminally prosecuted for that. I don't know whether it's incitement or not. I'm not a lawyer, but I wasn't particularly bothered about that. I'm with the Free Speech Union. I think for it to be incitement, they have to go, I want you to do this to this person on this occasion, and then for there to be a realistic possibility of somebody doing it, rather than saying, oh, I don't care if a migrant hotel gets burnt down. But what is really interesting, Lois, is this. In the case of Lucy Connolly, she pleaded guilty. Most people think she probably shouldn't have pleaded guilty. Trevor Jones pleaded not guilty, and the jury agreed with him. The worry, Lois, is exactly what you just said there, that actually the courts are relatively sensible, Parliament's fairly sensible.
She was probably advised to
the police and Ricky what is it, Ricky Jones, not Trevor Jones. I think Trevor Jones was Princess Diana's bodyguard, but anyway, this guy, I think what we've got now is we've got the police who are completely away with the fairies. We've got the CPS who are completely away with the fairies, and the judges, when they sentence, are completely off the wall. But it appears that the juries themselves are relatively sensible in a lot of cases. Is that a fair assessment, or am I wrong?
It could be, but I think the root of the problem is actually really vague legislation.
Yes.
I mean, that's why we see, we can't legislate specifically on tweets, but we have things like harmful content, which is nobody knows exactly what that contains.
Yeah.
With the buffer zones issue, influence is banned. Now, what is influence? If it's shouting and screaming and harassing someone, I think everyone says that that's not okay. But if it's having a quiet word with a friend, a chat, offering a conversation or a silent prayer, is that influence? Should that be a crime? Well, the law isn't clear, it's not specific enough, and that allows for great abuses that we see. So I think what needs to happen now is, we have the Conservative Party, the Reform Party, they have an opportunity to be raising a stink over these laws. Unfortunately, the Conservative Party were responsible for quite a few of them, but they have an opportunity now in opposition to be pointing out these flaws, pointing to the cases, the innocent people that are being dragged through courts as a result, and say we need to repeal these, and we need to get back to a state where we do respect free speech. We need legislation that really embeds free speech into law.
It's so dangerous. People do not realise how dangerous it is not allowing people to have an opinion, even if what they say you don't agree with or even like, or it's offensive. Because I think fundamentally, back in history, you cannot just say, I don't agree with you, so shut up.
But to be fair, Lois, to be fair to you, Danielle, we have had people who fundamentally agree with us politically, who said of Ricky Jones, let's lock him up. So, we do have hypocrites on our own side. Well, you're not on my side politically,
No.
but Lois is fairly close.
That's true. I think there's very few people actually in the world who truly believe in free speech, because a lot of people would support it for the things that they agree with, and then they're not so keen to jump to the defense of those who disagree.
Yes.
But you're right, Danielle, because when we see these issues that are at stake and it's not things you disagree with, you never know what's coming tomorrow. Like what opinion you might hold tomorrow that will be the one that's cast out. So not everyone's pro-life today, I think we know that. But if they're able to put, rings around streets of like 200, 300 meter areas in the UK, where you cannot hold an opinion that's pro-life, then what about tomorrow? Will it be, you can't hold an opinion about gender with the
Yes.
in the realm of
It's just so incredibly dangerous, and where people do not. I honestly believe that most people don't realise how severely, because they might go, well, yeah, they shouldn't do that, and I think you don't realise what you're agreeing to, because, like you say, people's opinions change.
But COVID was a period in British history where we discovered how much people loved being dictated to.
Yeah.
How much?
And remember, you couldn't say anything that was against it. That was the start of it.
Let's just be clear, and I'm sorry that if this offends our lovely regulator Ofcom, but always remember, they wanted to take people off the air who said the following of the vaccine: every medical procedure carries a small risk. Right?
Which is absolutely.
That is.
I know, it's madness. It's actually
but
madness.
also, the other problem with free speech, we can move on to this, Lois, is this other phrase which I worry about: the science is settled. That is incredibly dangerous. People think that is sensible, but remember, the science has been settled on things on thousands,
science is
millions
never settled
of
by
occasions.
just by the whole idea of science. It has to be constantly questioned.
And of course, our lovely regulator Ofcom say the science is settled on climate change, and to deviate from that is potentially dangerous. And look, I don't dislike these people. They do a hard job. There's always going to be a need to ensure that there are taste and decency.
I feel like this about it. I think it's ridiculous because there's Ofcom rules for us, but then there's other people who can say absolutely ludicrous, crazy.
Shut up! I've got a YouTube channel.
Oh,
Shut up!
okay.
Shut up! Watch. She doesn't hit
But
that.
my point
No,
is-
hit the dump button. Get rid of that. That can't go out. That bit can't go out. No, but on a serious note, look, we don't want. And I'll take it to the extreme. We don't want, pornographic material of children. We don't want, people, using the F-bomb or the C word at 6 o'clock on ITV. There is a need to protect a general sense of taste and decency.
Yeah.
But I think my concern is when you start taking it far too far. I mean, I completely agree with the whole thing about Palestine action, But frankly, somebody standing up saying, I disagree with the banning of Palestine action, I think is a reasonable comment, and I think you're not supporting the organisation if you do that. But equally, what amazes me, once again, is the hypocrisy of this, because when it comes to what they called kneecap, holding a Hezbollah sign, we're all for free speech then.
Right, that's true. Like I said, everybody kind of holds an inherent double standard, don't they? And we really have to fight against our human nature to make it a fair playing field for everybody. But I think it's really important also to let people be wrong for two reasons. Firstly, because we can then tell who's the idiot in the room and who's got the wrong impression of things, and debate them and have that idea. And it's good to be honest.
It's interesting because I was listening to a
think.
podcast by a rock star who's super trendy at the moment called Youngblood, and I really enjoyed
heard of that.
Have you heard of it? And I really enjoyed listening to it. What he said was, we're in a culture where you are simply not allowed to fail. Failure is not accepted. People are not allowed to make mistakes, and you are not allowed to fail. And that is basically, that is the biggest problem here, is that everybody, so what happens is everybody thinks they have to be perfect the minute that they do fail or mess up or make a mistake. Their lives are over, and then they're making stupid decisions. Basically, suicide rates in men are higher than they've ever been. So, but the point is, he said, is particularly as a man, you cannot have a culture of people who are not allowed to make mistakes.
I agree with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that is kind of how society progresses, isn't it? You know, we've had historic, outdated ideas. We used to think slavery was fine. Most people thought that. But because a few were allowed to speak up and challenge that, they were able through discourse, through conversations.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing that's inherent within all of this is that the reason why humanity is so successful and why we are the lead creature on the earth, whatever your belief about how that came about, is because we can pass information down from mother to daughter and from father to son. That means that people who were perfectly nice, who were intelligent, were backward by today's standards, simply because every generation adds to human knowledge. And so just in the way that we're moving humanity forward, people in the past will have been backward. And I find it ludicrous that we're trying to censor what people said 50, 100, 200 years ago. And I'll tell you something else. All of those people pulling down statues, there's more slavery in Pakistan now than there was even at the peak in the United States of America. Nobody cares. When you're talking about genocide, the genocide of the Christians in Nigeria, nobody cares. People are just remarkable hypocrites.
Yeah, that's certainly true. And thankfully, we get to have this free speech, and you get to have this incredible show where you can shine a light on these things through using that speech. So I think your audience is very grateful to you for that. And I'm grateful that we can get through a lot of shows, but obviously with Ofcom registered regulations tightening up, which is also an issue with the Online Safety Act, that's going to be ever more concerning, especially for I guess
thank you, Lois McCletcher-Miller. I don't want to bash Ofcom, but I will say this idea that the online safety bill is self-amendable by the regulator that implements the regulations. So basically what will happen when it is fully rolled out is that Ofcom will decide what the rules should be for online broadcasts, and then they will implement whatever rules they come up with. It's one of the first times in British history that we've had amendment that can be retrospectively rewritten by a regulator rather than Parliament. Lois McClatchy-Miller, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lois.
We're taking your calls, 0344 499 1000. Calls just charged at your normal rate. We'll be back in a mo.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Hello, welcome back. This is Talk TV, Talk Radio.
No, God, you've got to tell them now.
I'm Danielle Nicholson.
You've got to tell them.
This is Andre Walker, and we've just been given
That is not acceptable.
an interesting photograph of
Youngblood clearly had gone commando
with
in
Billie
a photo
Eilish.
shoot with Billie Eilish. I think that's his...
yeah, it is.
That isn't...
Yeah.
That's what he's got one of rather than what he's got two of.
Yeah, that's what he's got one of, yeah.
Yeah, all right, OK. So everyone, it appears that everyone has seen Youngblood's private part. Anyway, we'll tweet that from the Talk account. No, we're not.
We won't be allowed.
We will not be, we're not be doing that. OK, right, here we go. Well, it's just inevitable.
Hang on 1 second, can I just read out Neil's message? Neil from Belfast said, Danielle, whenever you said that men should be able able to make mistakes. Were you referring to ginger hair dye?
I like it. I like it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
I'm well aware you don't care.
This is the original.
Never care.
This is the original colour.
You never bother.
I mean, it wasn't as streaky as this, but I'm going to get.
No, it looks better now. It looks better now than it did when you first did it.
I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it professionally done.
It might be an idea.
Yeah, because I can't go just for men. I'll tell you what makes me laugh.
He works on television and he dyes his own hair.
Well, what makes me laugh is those, you know, those blokes you see who just paint a bit here and there, and like they've got different colours.
Yeah.
They look like a leopard.
You need to like look.
Yeah, the ears.
You've not done your sides.
No,
the
I did.
sides are grey.
No,
the back's grey.
I did do it. It's just a few weeks ago.
Oh, you just cut it. Right,
It's going to have to.
There's a real, what's he called? Prince Harry about you.
No, there isn't.
There is.
Oh, come on, Meghan.
There is, isn't there?
I hate you all.
There's definitely
I was watching the South Park with Harry and Meghan. Like, we hate journalists. So you wrote about the royal family, so you're a journalist. Yeah. And like they go, it's what's inside that counts. And then she flips open like a bin and he shouts in and goes, hello. And there's just an echo. That's absolutely super.
South Park's amazing.
Okay. Well, it's inevitable. By the way, sorry, I should say, we're taking calls for the rest of the show because, as you know, we used to do the Saturday night phone-in and we loved it and we would love to bring it back, talk. Give us a second series of shit. So it's 0344 499 1000. Sorry, that's a quote from Alan Partridge. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots available. So that means if you call now, you will get through. But first of all, we're going to go, oh, there we go. Just the old ones are the best. Okay. Yasmin, the Teenage Witch, is on now.
Hello, Yasmin.
Hiya, darlings. I've got some brilliant things for you tonight.
Oh, good.
Right, it's a new moon. So new moon is about new beginnings, but also because we've got a lot of planets in retrograde.
Oh, great.
It does change things a lot. It makes things more intense.
Oh, okay.
So, thing is, when a planet's going retrograde, it's actually not going backwards. It's just slowing down. That's the first thing.
Who's going down?
No, retrograde is usually...
Oh, you're not going down, are you?
No, I'm not going down on anybody, babe.
Anyway,
You just knew she'd double down on that one.
Go on.
Right, this is really important.
Yes.
Gratitude attracts abundance, and it also attracts opportunities coming in.
I think I honestly do think that sometimes, I know it's just a simple thing, but if you're having a bit of a tough time, I honestly think the gratitude journal thing is such a good start. If anyone is struggling with mental health, you basically pare it right back to simple things that you're grateful for: a hot shower, a warm bed. Like, I know it sounds a bit...
What if you don't have those?
I'm not being patronising, but... well, exactly. But whatever... You must have something that you're grateful for.
What if you, like,
your feet don't hurt? I don't know.
You've got no feet.
Well,
right.
also...
here we go. Shut up, you.
Also, smudging, cleansing out the old energy. If you can't use smoke, because you live in a building with smoke detectors, use sage spray. And also decluttering, you know, I'm crazy about
I know, I've done my decluttering, Yasmin.
Let me explain something quickly to you, Danielle.
Yes.
I know you've done decluttering, but organising things in boxes and things like that is still clutter.
No, but I...
Also, you've just reminded me, Danielle, message for you before I got online.
Go on.
With you was, you're going to see a Buddha, it's going to attract you, it's going to be a crystal, and you're going to be drawn to it. Get it. It's really important.
Okay. Right, a crystal Buddha, I've got to get it. I'll tell my husband.
Yeah, well, he should buy you whatever, because you're the queen.
Yes, he should.
You keep his life together.
To be fair, my husband does absolutely ruin me, so I'm not going to lie.
In what respect?
If I... Behave in the... Why do you do that? You're so naughty. No, in the fact that I'm treated like a princess by my husband. And I
that's what I
literally,
meant.
right, no, I'm not joking. I could, if I said to my husband I'd spent every single penny in the bank account, if I'd said that to him, he would literally just, and I could say why, he'd just go, right, fine, yeah, no problem. No, and I genuinely mean that. Stop
No,
it.
I knew exactly what you...
Stop it, redhead.
I knew what you meant. I knew exactly what you meant. You know,
he spoils me.
I know he spoils you.
Me.
Absolutely destroys you.
Word.
Yeah, he does. You know, it's just that is what happens.
Yasmin, save me.
If you spoil somebody, that's what happens.
Salt baths, which is salt.
Well, you won't need that. You'll be fine.
Clean your crystals, and like you said, do a journal of intention, which is really important.
I'll be honest, Yasmin, I'm not very good at the writing stuff down bit.
You don't have to. You can look in a mirror and do it.
Oh, that's all right then.
Oh, I bet her. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who has been ruinous most of all? Me.
You can even do it as a recording on your phone. And
don't do that. He'll leak.
The other thing is...
Sorry, Yasmin, the government now has a back door to Apple, doesn't it? Right? You'll end up with it all over. It'll be sold in Beijing or something.
The other thing is, with it being a new moon, it's a great time to make new friendships.
Right.
And also, new unexpected experiences are going to be coming in. Thoughts are powerful now. I had a friend... She was young, she had a few kids, she had zero money, so I set up a spell for her, and within 2 days she met a millionaire and moved in. She moved in his house straight away.
No way.
I ain't saying she a gold digger.
How do you find a millionaire like that?
Married, and it was a very easy spell.
Do you know what I'd love? A yacht. I'd love someone who was like so rich they had a big.
And we gave. Do you know what that was?
That's so gaudy, isn't it?
We gave away a yacht.
It's about people being rich. It's about people having connections, and it's about companionship and fun and enjoying yourself. Right, you've got to be outside for this spell. You don't have to be naked.
Okay, that's good.
Right.
Because my neighbours have cut down all the trees, so I'm struggling. They've trimmed back the bush, and I'm now struggling to do my cold plunge because I always used to do my cold plunge in the morning naked, and now I have to put a swimsuit on. Because they can see.
God!
Because they can see over the fence. They couldn't see before.
Just be yourself.
Yeah, they'd gone blind.
Cold plunge, by the way, is like a little pod that you...
What was it? They'd gone blind?
It's amazing cold plunging, by the way. Anyone who's going through menopause...
Why couldn't they see?
Or mental health issues.
Why couldn't they see?
Because the bushes were massive.
They've been watching
no, the bushes were massive, and now they've cut them all down. So I used to have complete privacy. You could not see in my garden. Now they can see everything. I feel like I'm lucky. I'm like, put it this way, I saw her getting in the bath.
No, I'll tell you what my mum and dad did. My mum and dad bought this house. It was absolutely massive, but it had a problem. The garden was badly overlooked. So they grew these leylandii to about 30 foot. And the bloke who bought it went, this garden's a bit dark. Cut them all down. And then he was living, with the neighbours. Oh, horrendous. Horrendous,
See,
he realised.
And they've, like, extended their house massive, so it's like... Anyway.
How is it again?
Sorry, go on, Yasmin.
No, do that again.
First world problems is not... I live in a lovely house, ignore me, go on.
Do you want this spell? Oh, by the way, Danielle, you're going to have 4 properties. I just got told.
4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I play Monopoly as well.
Yeah, baby.
I'm just telling you, and I also feel within the next 8 years you'll go more into property and design and things.
Three houses and then you get a hotel.
So what's the spell, Yasmin, that you don't have to do naked quickly?
Right. You imagine a big balloon in front of you, a clear balloon in front of you, and you imagine yourself putting things in that balloon like a man. Now make it general, don't make it specific. A man, a house.
Whatever you want.
Everything in the balloon you want, and you tie a knot in it.
Silicon.
You tie a knot in it, and you let it float up.
Boom.
The sky, remember, thoughts are powerful. Andre, stop thinking of condoms. Anyway, right, you're listening. Think of thoughts being powerful. Let it float up in the sky.
Yeah.
Then, within the next 3 weeks...
Shoot it down.
You take every opportunity to meet somebody. My friend the day after met a guy on a blind date. She didn't even want to go out.
Can I just say, Yasmin, I want to be one of your friends because, like, they bump into millionaires.
She bumped into him in a blind date that had been pre-arranged.
Listen, let me explain something, right? I don't know what wages you two are on, right?
I'm doing all right.
I don't get paid.
Just tell you,
I'm not joking.
If there's anybody out there who knows how to do cards and tarot and they want to get into the business properly, go on California Psychics. She earns £900 an hour.
What?
$20 a minute.
We cannot condone that because we don't know what that is. Sorry, Yasmin. We can't back that up.
About that.
Yasmin, if you stick around, could we have a quick break and we'll come back with Andre's predictions? Is that okay? We'll see you in a sec.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Hello, welcome back to Talk. I'm Danielle. This is Andre, and Andre's finding interesting pictures for me to look at. Behave, Andre. I know. Can you imagine that?
How does it walk?
I don't know. If you've just tuned in, we have Yasmin. Andre calls her the teenage witch, which does stick. But we got Yasmin on the phone, who's our clairvoyant, and she is.
She's not.
Yasmin,
She's just some woman who phones up.
A witch? Do you call yourself a witch? She's gone.
She has gone. She's just some woman who phones up.
Have we lost her?
Right.
What happened?
Okay.
We'll call her back.
Okay, I'll tell you what
I'm
we
sure
want to do.
she's not fell out with us.
No, she hasn't. It will be, so if you want to call us, it's 0344 499 1000. Calls just charged at your normal rate. By the way, somebody was saying, isn't it great that Mark Dolan was back on the channel this week? He was.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I said to him, first of all?
Go on.
I sat down to do the handover, and I said to him, well, that didn't work, did it? And he went, oh, don't have a go at me, don't have a go at me. I went, I told you not to leave, told you. And anyway, he just had to accept it. So we've now sorted that.
And I just wanted to very quickly say as well, for everyone anyone watching who got the GCSE results, remember, you were the generation who didn't get your leavers due at school. You didn't get a proper start at high school. They went through the COVID chaos, and I just want to say, whatever you got, you did great.
No, some of you did do badly. No, let's just not do that one.
No,
because
they all did great.
No, they didn't all do great.
Well, put it this way: the government are thinking of scrapping the English and maths resits after this year.
Right. So some of you are just thick, and you do have to.
No.
You do have to accept that.
No, they're not. Shut up.
You do have to.
Apparently, Andre from Salisbury says, "I don't see what the problem is with Andre's hair. Why are you making a joke? It looks okay to me."
I think it looks great. I think it looks superb. I think that this is the future.
And Nikki in Slough says, Talk, yes, please, to you two being back on Saturday nights, please.
I'll tell you what I thought was good as well, Samara Gill.
Yeah,
but
really
she was Butte Bonza, as they say in Australia.
That was her first
ever presenting. Yeah, great. Okay.
Really well. Yeah, so we've got Yasmin on the phone,
just trying to
who's not fell out with us. Yasmin, what are your predictions for Andre, other than you cannot say that he's got to wear, what was it, sandals and
sandals and tight-fitting linen trousers.
Linen trousers.
And then the walk the fells.
Or you can't say that he's signing a contract.
Right, what I will say is, first of all, when I look at Andrew's energy, I know he said he's living in a place called Slug or something, Slough, whatever.
You're not living in Slough, are you?
No, nothing wrong with Slough, but I'm not living there.
You live in Windsor, don't you?
Yeah, I feel with Andre, when I'm looking at him...
He should live in a place called Slug.
I can see a tower in front of him, so there's some kind of tall building wherever he's going to be living, but it might not be a building.
No, Windsor doesn't have tall buildings, does it? It belongs to the Queen. They only have small ones.
You know, like at a cricket club, I can see a cricket club around him as well, so I'm just letting you know what I'm seeing.
You're in your new house now, aren't you?
I live in an old convent.
I'm seeing champagne, so there's definitely going to be a massive celebration, I reckon, within the next 4 weeks.
He stopped drinking, Yasmin. Do you know that?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it's symbolic.
I can drink a bit. I can't drink much.
Okay.
I'm seeing champagne and I'm seeing strawberries.
Oh.
And I'm seeing, like, that outdoor kind of Henley regatta type thing.
Oh, he loves all that stuff.
Around him.
Can't get into the
And I'm also seeing, to give me a yacht again for you, Danielle.
Oh, here we go. Back to Danielle, because she'll believe it.
Don't even... We're going to Istanbul and they have boats there.
I'm telling you.
Do they really? Oh, amazing.
Danielle,
no, I mean on the Bosphorus. Sorry, go on.
If you go to Istanbul, don't eat the octopus.
Oh, I'd never have octopus. I'd never have.
That's a euphemism.
No.
That's a euphemism.
I would never. No, you don't know me very. I won't even eat prawns.
Why not?
It just freak me out. I think of the poo that's down the side.
Do you know what I do?
You know that black bit down the...
Do you know I eat prawns whole? Including the face.
Have you seen what they eat off the bottom of the sea?
I eat the face.
Oh, it creeps me out.
I eat the face of the prawn.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You the crunchy bit. The eyeballs.
The eyeballs.
You're a weirdo.
I love them.
Don't be over generous with somebody who's just getting a new car. You'll understand about that.
Oh.
It's going to be important because somebody...
They don't know anybody with
That is true.
Is it?
I bought my niece a car. And now she wants, and I've cut her allowance simply because I've just moved into a new place. I don't want to give her 50 quid a week anymore. That is true. But I bought her a car.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Andre, it's really significant, darling. Somebody's coming back in your life from your past.
Oh.
And I am going to tell you, this person's only for money. And
yeah, it'd probably be Tom Newton, though. I'm joking.
Too soft when it comes to people.
He probably owes them money.
Yeah, that's probably
the
right.
Other thing is, looking on YouTube, then
it might be EDF Energy.
Sorry, go on, Yasmin.
Anyway, I was just watching on YouTube and the programme kept cutting out and going to a black screen.
I'm sorry, don't worry about it. Everyone heard the whole show, don't worry.
The other thing is, Andre, I want you to sort your ears out. There's something about your ear.
The hairy.
No, they're not.
They are.
They aren't. They're not. Lick it. It's fine.
You've got hairy
No,
ears.
if you lick my ear,
Do you know what he
you'll
hasn't got, though? He's not got dirty ears.
He's going to a special Italian restaurant and he's also speaking to a Frenchman there.
Oh.
That's going to be...
Ooh la la.
There you go. Yasmin, thank you so much, as always, for those predictions
For those
random
made up just stuff. I quite find it fun. In the next hour,
It's good fun.
We've got all your calls, 0344 499 1000. We want to hear from you. It's 1 hour. It's going to be great, great, great fun.
across the UK. On DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Hello, welcome back to the show. I'm Danielle. This is Andre, and you're watching Talk TV.
I thought of that as an excellent.
I know.
Excellent,
Shush.
no,
Shush. I know what you want to do. Hold it in.
No, that wasn't that.
In.
It wasn't that. When they said somebody's going to come from your past who's only interested in money, it'll be EDF Energy.
If you want to give us a call, this is the time to do it, because it's the last hour and we're going to let you mould our show. It's 0344 499 1000. Speaking of which, we've got some messages here. Busy Bird has messaged to say people have to sell their house to pay for their old people's home care.
Yeah, true.
At £2,000 a week in a care home, capital gains and inheritance tax when the house gets sold. I couldn't afford or wasn't well enough to have a child. Sorry about that. Chris says, it really annoys me when pensioners say I've paid in. The average pensioner takes out $291,000 more than what they have paid in. Totally unfair and totally unsustainable. Lindsay says, Andre has basically just described the biggest government scandal in history. Previous generations were told that their contributions would be paid into their pension pots and redeemed at retirement. They've already screwed waspy women by moving the goalpost. Yeah, that's one of my mum's
Explain
one of
waspy
them.
women after you've read all this.
Yeah, okay, and people have also paid additional contributions to qualify. MPs are supposed to serve the people of this country. They all need a reminder or the boot. So basically, the waspy women are the people who the goalposts were moved for. So they were told they were going to get the pension at 60. They've got to wait till 65. That's right, isn't it? They're called the waspy women.
Yeah. Well, I think it's pretty disgraceful, but I've got to be honest with you. I feel very sorry. See, I've got to be honest with you, right? So, Reem can get on her high horse. Reem Ibrahim, who was here at the beginning of the show from the IEA. I love her to bits, but she gets on her. Well, what are we going to cut? Look, she's not wrong. 44% of everything that we earn in this country. Tax Freedom Day, the 12th of June. Just to remind you, the Adam Smith Institute works out that if you paid all of your tax, you know, every day, and you only were able to put a pound in your own pocket after you'd paid all that through the year, then the first day you would earn money is the 12th of June.
It's incredible,
that's awful,
really,
isn't it? Awful.
It's ridiculous, and I know people who don't benefit from raises because it just starts to get silly. And I think more than ever, I think as well, normally when you've had a Conservative government, there's normally been a little bit of light relief in that respect, and there just wasn't, was there? In fact, they went up, didn't they? Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing is it's something like it's the top 25% of earners pay something like 90% of the tax. Ridiculous. Or something. So it is true to say that what happens is, probably there will be people under Reem's plan who have paid in their entire life, received zero from the government, and they don't even get the 150 quid a week.
It's bad. It's ridiculous. We've got a nice message here saying, hi guys, I've missed you and Danielle so much and love seeing her back. She looks fabulous as ever. Thank you very much, Anna. Saturday nights just aren't the same without her and Barbara gabbing away.
Yeah, what happened to Barbara?
Well. We don't know. She just
disappeared.
Well, she disappeared when we came off. It wasn't.
Oh, that's a good point.
She missed us. That's why.
That is a good point. Well, there's simply no evidence she missed us.
Hang on a minute. Andrew has sent a message in. How much does Danielle spend on her hair a month? I bet it's a lot more than Andre.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And by the way,
my hair.
By the way, the number. Yeah. It's basically a penniless person in the Far East had to sell their hair for a tenner in order for Danielle to have her flowing locks. Right? It's just a head of cruelty, isn't it?
Shut up, you.
All it is. Okay, Matt is in Cheshire. Matt, you're on Talk. Come on, Matt.
Good evening, Andre.
Good evening.
Morning, evening.
Whatever you want.
When Labour are inevitably obliterated in next year's local elections,
they will,
and the next general election, they're going to be obliterated in places they've never been obliterated before.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and say they'll probably not. I'm 51. It probably won't be in power again in my lifetime.
That's certainly possible.
And I think they will then turn to Andy Burnham. which for some reason the media see as talented. But as you two are both from the Northwest, you probably know as well that it's a total fallacy, and he's actually doing to Manchester the exact same thing as Sadiq Khan. Well,
I have to say, Andy Burnham, who is a friend of mine, I will say the one thing that upsets him is when he's called Dr. Death. But it is true to say, unfortunately, Andy, that he prioritised defending the reputation of the NHS over investigating some horrendous systemic failures that led to large numbers of elderly people prematurely dying. That is just a fact, unfortunately.
Yeah, I remember that. But what I'm talking about is his current record as mayor.
Well, I'll tell you about his current record as mayor. Do you remember?
Well, he suspended the congestion charge.
Do you remember? Yeah, but he was the one that came up with the idea.
I know. But then realised just how unpopular it was.
But I thought the extraordinary one was during the coronavirus lockdown, when the country was absolutely on its backside. We all knew that Eid was coming up, and that in East Manchester, in places like Rochdale and Oldham, they believed that people would break the coronavirus lockdown. No evidence to suggest, by the way, that Muslims were more likely to break the lockdown than anybody else, but there was a fear. But he brought in a lockdown across the entire city, or got the government to do it, on the basis that he was worried about what would happen within a very small community, within 1 or 2 boroughs, which I think is just grossly irresponsible. He didn't want to admit, I'm concerned about Eid, so he had a lockdown more generally with no medical purpose.
That is just typical Labour, is it not? There are certain YouTubers out there, Andre, who do stuff in central Manchester.
I've seen it.
And if you look at the state of central Manchester, it's filthy, it's full of junkies, it's full of illegal immigrants, there are tents everywhere.
There's a video, Matt, I have to say, of a female police officer saying to a guy, how do you expect to be accepted for asylum in the UK when you've openly smoked crack in front of a 10-year-old? And by the way, let me tell you, I believe that person will have no problem getting asylum.
Of course, yeah. There's an entire perch in Piccadilly Gardens for total reprobates. And
what is it? Why is it? What is going on there, by the way? Because
I don't think it's exclusive to Manchester.
Because, so there was that new building built opposite the Britannia Hotel, and they redid the whole of Piccadilly Gardens, and to be fair, I think they spent far too much money on it, but okay, fine. It was all done, it was all great, it looked brilliant, and then basically the bagheads came in and took over.
I think it's just like a Toronto thing. I just think they've got this obsession with having total nutcases wandering all over the streets and trying to ruin everybody else's life.
Yeah.
And that seems to stretch all over the Western world now. Can I just say before I forget as well, it's great to see, I've rang in a few times and I always forget to say, it's great to hear 2 people from the Northwest. I think you're from Greater Manchester as well, Andre.
Salford, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Matt.
It's great, it really is. And it's, long may it continue, because in our lifetime,
it does. I do sometimes feel like it. Yeah, it's a bit out of touch with how it really is up north.
I think it's. I mean, it's not that people are deliberate, but the Thames Valley does dominate, doesn't it? It really does.
Of course it does. I used to watch you on a certain other channel with 2 initials, Andre, years ago.
Yeah.
And I always
we call it. Do you know we call
the other place?
We call it the other place, like in Parliament, in the other place.
Oh God! Well, at the end of the day, there were some good programs on that channel, and it doesn't make you somebody's apologist for watching it.
Yeah.
I think. Look, I mean, I tell you what.
I think what's really sad is what Labour have done, because there's a whole generation of people who consider themselves working class, and I consider myself working class. I don't have a education, a degree, or anything like that. So, and I think it's really sad because. We've been the decisions they've made. They've forced us out of being Labour voters. They've just been it's been so badly done. It makes me so angry, because I don't believe that is what Labour is.
We would do this country a great service if working class people were able to take back control of the Labour Party. Get rid of all of these upper middle class lawyers from London.
Idiots.
Get rid of all the charity workers. Get rid of all the not necessarily the trade union people, but all the lefty, institutions, all the people from the big charities. They've destroyed it. The Labour Party loathes the working class now.
Yeah.
That's so true. I mean, I'm proudly common as muck.
Yeah, me too.
I've never voted Labour in my life.
He's not. He thinks he's posh because his dad's got a nice house.
Yeah, give him 10 years, he'll be an adopted southerner or something like that.
I know, won't he?
Listen, I've never eaten an avocado.
Whatever.
I have actually.
I knew you had.
But it wasn't my fault.
Are you joking? You know that this is the same guy who says, "Oh, guess what they've got? They've got oysters or whatever."
No, I do. Right?
Oh,
no, hang
here
on
we
a
go.
second.
Oysters and caviar or something.
I eat oysters and caviar, but there's an important caveat to that.
Go on.
There's a bloke from Barrow-in-Furness. I'm not joking. There's a bloke from Barrow-in-Furness who does oyster sales in Borough Market, and you eat them on the street. He's the guy who does the Morecambe Bay potted shrimp.
No, I know what you mean, but I can say I've never had oysters.
I don't
and
go
caviar.
into Harrods.
So you are posh.
I go into the Barrow-in-Furness fish market and eat it on the street.
Yeah, Borough Market's good though.
And they're £3 each, which is a lot of money. Yeah. But I mean, it's not like insurmountably large amount of money, is it?
Matt, thank you very much for ringing in, and thank you for your compliments. It's appreciated. I completely agree. It's dead sad because it.
Well, we have to eat oysters on the street these days. Yeah, it's absolutely dreadful. Why? The oyster? There's nothing wrong with oysters. I'll tell you what.
It's posh, though, isn't it?
No, I'll tell you what the big problem with oysters is.
Do you like them?
Yeah.
You don't chew them, do you?
I
You
do.
just swallow them.
I chew them.
Oh, you chew them?
Yeah, I do.
I like cockles. Would I like oysters?
I've never eaten a cockle.
Have you never had a cockle?
No.
Oh, are you joking?
They can't hear him.
The gallery's just said, "What's a cockle?" Are you actually joking? It's a little tiny sea creature.
You just eat it
and
with
you have it in vinegar. Well, a bit like a snail, I suppose. I once went cockle picking on a beach in Portugal, took them home, fried them in butter. Oh, they were the nicest thing I've ever ate in my life. No, fresh cockles. Oh,
I've got to be honest.
Honestly,
I've got to be honest with you.
Garlic butter.
Garlic bread.
No, you pick them up off the beach. I had the kids. We spent the whole holiday because they were that nice. I just had the kids, go on, get some more of them. And they picked them all up off the
I love
sand.
that money-saving trick.
Oh, they were so nice. They were so nice.
But I'll tell you
Don't go cockle picking in Morecambe Bay because some bad things happened.
It's incredibly
with the cockle picking.
Well, I'll tell you what. In terms of what I was going to say is, what people forget is the amount of seafood that comes from Morecambe Bay. If you have mussels in Brussels, it will almost certainly have come from Morecambe.
Will it?
Yeah, without any doubt. The only problem is, and I'll tell you this one thing about oysters, and this is the really sad thing.
Go on.
You used to be able to pick oysters out of the sea. You must not do it now.
Why?
Because of norovirus, and it's because, unfortunately, the oysters filter food and the amount of, bluntly, poo that the water companies pump out makes the oysters dangerous.
No.
So what they have to do?
So they have to be farmed.
They have to be farmed. Or what they do is they take them in from the sea and put them in a farm for 2 weeks with running water through them to clean them out. But I mean that is just disgraceful,
bad,
isn't it? Disgraceful.
That's bad.
Disgraceful that we've been able to
the
eat.
The water companies are just
we've been able to eat oysters from the sea around Britain for what, 3,000 years or whatever, until 20 years ago.
And then they ruin it.
Horrendous. All right, let's go to the break and then we'll go to Alison. We'll be back in. By the way, do call us 03444991000. Got about 3 slots available, so if you call now, you get through. And we're going to go to Alison straight after this.
across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Good morning, welcome to Talk TV, Talk Radio. I'm Danielle, this is Andre. We're here with you until 1 a.m. So if you want to give us a call and be a part of our show this morning, then the number is 0344 499 1000.
No, you got it right. Our show, this morning. Yeah, whatever.
I'd like that.
We'd be great on this morning. It would be a lurch to the right. That's put me on, wouldn't it? Okay.
We've got Alison on the line from Buckinghamshire. Hi, Alison. You're through to Talk.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Nice to see you back on the telly now.
Thank
you.
It cheers everything up. It's really nice. I really like it.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. I spoke to Andre last night because he had a subject on multiculturalism and is it working? And I said no. And I told him basically I was starting to tell him about my experiences because my partner is a Muslim.
Oh, yes, you are the brilliant caller I asked to call back.
That's right. Yeah, so basically we've been together 9 years. And obviously he is a Muslim, but he's not a practicing Muslim, and he doesn't agree with a lot of the things that are in the culture. So he lives westernised. He doesn't sort of live, you know, like some Muslim cultures do. But the problem is that his parents and his family, I'm not even allowed to go on the drive.
So you can't go in the house, you can't go on the drive, and the bone of contention is that you didn't convert to Islam, and they will never accept you under any circumstances because of that.
Oh, yeah.
That is correct, is it?
Well, not really, because I think the thing is if my partner wanted to be with a Muslim woman, he would have done.
Yeah.
But if I convert, I'm not the person that he's met for a start.
No, I understand that, but that's their objection to you, that you're not a Muslim.
Yeah. I mean, but the problem is that his family, it's all about ownership. Like, his dad said if I married him, I would be his daughter, and that's it. And I just...
Should have said, I don't want to be your daughter, you wrinkly old git.
I did. You know what? I said I would never. I know I've only got one dad, and that's how it goes. But it's just the nastiness of it. Like, my car's due an MOT, something just as simple as this. My partner, his dad, pays for the MOTs and stuff because the people that have got the garage rent properties off him, so they give him a discount. And I said to my partner, because his car's due for MOT and so is mine. So I said, could you ask your dad if I could take mine there?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's a no-no. They wouldn't accept me for a start and also tell me to take it somewhere else.
See, I just think it's interesting because we have a Christian that comes on the show called Ken, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Massively extreme. And I just think any extreme of religion that's extremely enforced is not
but hang
a
on
good
a second.
thing.
Yeah, but hang on a second. Ken in London, who isn't here to defend himself, he comes on basically ranting, well, not ranting, but going on about how wouldn't it be great if we all believed in Jesus and repented for our sins. Alison is talking about a bunch of people who refuse to accept what the modern world is, are rude, obnoxious, factional, and not racist because they're bothered about you being a Christian.
But they're hiding it under religion, I think.
They're the sort of people who actually, in reality, will all play nice to your face, but in reality, they don't want it to be a a Christian Prime Minister and a Christian King. They want all the states' institutions to be Islamic. They probably want Sharia law in the UK. They're lying about being nice about the whole thing. Is that fair, Alison?
Oh, maybe the dad does.
Well, basically, I think that I asked my partner about whether, they want to take over, the United Kingdom? And he said, yes, they do.
Right.
And I don't. And the thing is that they are so strong about their culture that they won't compromise.
They won't dilute.
Why would you leave that behind to come here?
Well, because the problem is what we're talking about here, and what we're talking about with Alison last night, is going from a few people coming to Britain in order to be British and get a better life, and effectively what David Starkey talks about, which is transplanting villages from Pakistan into the UK. So the reason why a lot of these people do first cousin marriage, it's got nothing to do with a more general interest in incest. It's because they're interested in ensuring the next person from Pakistan gets to come over to the UK. And what they're doing is they're transplanting entire what David Starkey calls tribal areas. Well, simply because I think there are more economic opportunities here. But the point is, it's not because they love Britain. So effectively, what they're doing is moving to Urdu-speaking communities, retaining their Muslim heritage, their religious dress, and so on and so forth, and fundamentally just saying this is just a good place for Pakistanis to own.
Can I just say, Alison, I do appreciate that you come on here and speak honestly and openly about it, because that's quite brave as well.
But obviously, what I said to Andre last night was that the insults I get when I'm out, not from Asian women, they just give me a really bad look. It's white women, and it's older white women. Every time I go out with them, I get insulted.
Really? And what? Oh, actually, we probably best not.
No.
But can you give us, without just offending everybody, can you give us a sense of what the insults are?
Well, recently, actually, a couple of days ago, we were shopping, and this old lady, she must have been in her 70s, maybe, and she didn't actually see me from the front. She made the comment from the back as she walked past me. And she just turned around and said, that's disgusting.
I've got a friend of mine, his deceased mother was from the East End of London, and he did an impersonation of her, which is quite comical, but actually what she was doing was quite nasty. If she saw a black man and a white woman, she'd go, makes me sick, makes me sick. She'd say that to their faces. But I mean, she would be about 110 now, right? Yeah. So I mean, things have changed a little bit.
Yeah. And also, we were in a garden centre, and I asked him just to wait with the trolley, just for a sec. I saw something, and I went and got it, and I came back, and this white woman was walking away from him, and she turned around and she said to him, "Well, that's all your money gone."
Really?
You know, honestly...
And my mum said in the 70s, she had to intervene because somebody walking with a pram who had a mixed-race baby, white girl with a mixed-race baby, some old bag walks up to her and went, if you brought that to my house, if you brought that thing to my house, I'd throw you out. And Mum went, I felt obliged to intervene.
Well, isn't it good that it's not like that anymore?
I know, but the worst thing about it all is my mother died coming up to 11 years ago, motor neurons disease, and I used to help my dad with her very end life, looking after her and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, he used to be quite racist. He was very racist, actually, back in the day.
Right.
Now, what's amazed me is he's met an Asian woman. Yeah, they got married.
The irony.
Has got married to her, and has sold mine and my brother's inheritance so she can have a house nearer her daughter.
Wow.
Really. But there is one thing I'm going to say to you, though, Alison. You complained bitterly about the behaviour of, your son's your husband's family or partner's family, and that's legitimate. But it sounds like the more general overt racism is coming from the British white people rather than Asian people.
Yeah, I mean, I've had no comment from an Asian woman, but I get really horrible looks. It's the white women that are insulting me. Is
that a cultural thing, which is that the Asian people will not generally say anything, even though they may think it?
Well, they're taught not to say anything. So it's not natural for them to be outspoken, because they're not allowed to be. So, you know, they just give you that look, like, you know what I'm saying, right? But then a white woman, I mean, she has got no fear of saying what she wants to say, which I don't disagree with. I agree everyone has a voice.
Well, I think there's a difference. I mean, free speech might be.
But there's no need to outwardly
I'm worried about interracial relationships in a debate setting, not walking up to somebody going, "Get rid of him." You know, I mean, that's just.
I know, but we were in Sainsbury's, and as she walked past, I looked at my partner, and he said, "Leave it," and I said, "I'm getting fed up with it." And all I shouted to her was, "Excuse me," like, so she didn't turn around, so I really shouted it, and she still didn't. I said, "No, that's what I thought." Don't say it to my face, you know, won't say it to my face.
Yeah. Well, Alison, thank you so much for sharing that with us, because I do think it's quite brave. And it's not okay for people to treat you like that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alison. By the way, do you know the last time we were on, we were talking about cooking?
Yeah.
Right, I've got to tell you something that I cooked the other day.
On.
No, this is good.
Okay.
Right? Mutton. Not lamb, mutton. Right? Do you like mutton?
I've never had it.
Haven't you?
No.
It's so good.
I believe so.
So what I did was I got
It's quite trendy to have it.
I got 2 kilograms of mutton in 2 bags. So I opened up a bag of it, and what I did was, I don't know what you meant to do, but I brought it to the boil and simmered the backside out of it for about 2 hours.
Well, yeah.
Because it's tough.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, but it's got more flavour than lamb, but it's tougher than lamb.
Right. Okay.
Right.
And what did you put it with? Because it sounds awful up to now.
then what I did was, so obviously all I've got now is boiled mutton for 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Bottle of Guinness.
Right.
Bottle of Guinness, and then separately, I fried some onions, threw them in, and fried some, and then threw in some potatoes whole.
What about some mint sauce?
No, I didn't do that. Okay, but I got those small potatoes actually, and I halved them, threw them in, and then right at the end I fried some mushrooms and put it in, and then I put in some.
What do you think our producer Chuck, who's a vegan?
Some lamb. No, hang on a second. I haven't finished. Lamb stock cubes.
Go on.
2 of them.
2. So you made like a gravy.
It all together.
It'll have a minty taste if it's a lamb stock cube, won't it?
No.
It didn't. They're green, aren't they, the lamb ones?
Yeah, but they don't have mint in them. So then what I did, they're like a
green.
minty...
The lamb oxos are green, aren't they?
It is a minty...
The beef are red.
It's a minty
the chicken are yellow.
Right.
The lamb are green.
That's got nothing to do with mint. It's got nothing to do with mint. And then what I did was I got some...
I think it's because of the mint. I've lost my shit.
Then I got some... You've lost your what? Then I got some flour in a cup and put some cold water in.
To thicken it up.
You
use corn flour on...
Normal flour. That's all I had.
Oh, it'll be minging, that. That will be minging. It needs to be corn flour.
Sensational.
Oh.
It was sensational.
I'm not going to lie. I don't think I'd like your cooking. It sounds
Hang on a second. Cooking.
It sounds, doesn't it? What do the gallery think? Does that sound nice?
It's not cooking, it's boiling.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the one...
It's tough. It's like an old boot.
Can I tell you the other...
Same thing, no?
No, yeah. Can I tell you the other...
But he's tougher.
The other recipe I did with the other kilogram.
Oh, God, go on.
But we'll tell you after the break.
Across the UK. On DAB+. On your smart speaker. On your smart TV. And on your side. This is Talk.
The things you say, it's a good job you're not brought off air in the break. Hello, welcome back to Talk TV. I'm Danielle, this is Andre. He just says anything that is on his mind. How you work on live TV, I have no idea. Right, I've got to say hi to Nikki Brown, who sent us a lovely message saying, please can you tell Danielle that it's amazing to see her. Thank you very much. I remember going cockling as a kid when we were at Cleethorpes in our caravan. I can remember my parents leaving them under the caravan soaking. Then when it came to cooking them, the noise they made, they do pop.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they make
Is it a satisfying?
They like a when they pop open. I haven't eaten them for years and I'm allergic to prawns, so I do avoid seafood.
Oh, okay.
Good idea. Can I just say, my mum sent me a message and she said apparently I have had mutton. I had it when I was little at Grandad's house.
And she also said that oysters used to be a poor man's food.
Yeah, she
but
said
that's when you could pull them out of the sea in the northwest of England before the pollution. Right. But anyway, here's my other recipe for mutton.
Oh.
Put the other kilogram of mutton in.
Go on.
Boiled it. You've got to.
Are you making it into a pie?
No.
You should make a nice pie, like a gravy. That'd actually taste all right with a bit of gravy.
Well, this one had tomato, red wine, and basil.
That sounds crap again.
It's not crap.
Tomato, red wine, and basil with mutton.
Yes, lamb. It's Greek.
Basil.
It's like Greek.
Mum? My mum's a really good cook. Mum,
basil and oregano.
Does basil go nicely with mutton?
Yes.
I'd have gone for a mint.
No, you wouldn't have gone for
a minty gravy.
You can't put mint in frigging.
I'd have made a thick minty gravy, I'd have made my own pastry, and I'd have made a pie. Right,
all right, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do next time. Right, I will make my lamb stew, mutton stew.
The one with the tomato-y one.
Do you want the tomato one? Do you like that?
No, it sounds crap. Do the other one then.
The Guinness one?
The Guinness one sounds better than the tomato-y one, yeah. Did it?
I didn't give you the recipe. I didn't give you the recipe.
Just getting this. None of them are interested in eating your mutton.
Well, that's true of you as well. Nobody's eating your mutton in your
Do you think, though, that he's a good cook? Can we have, like, a little poll? Do we think that Andre is a good cook? No.
Yeah.
I feel the same. Do you know why? Because you'll eat anything.
No, I won't.
So that chicken you brought in last week, that was minging.
It was just hot.
It was minging. He said, oh, I've got to have chicken from Cottage Chicken or something. Where did you have it from? Chicken Cottage or something?
True chicken. Right.
They made haggis in the studio.
No, that's not what happened.
Only the Scots can make haggis.
Right, no. I bought a haggis because somebody bet me to eat it on air. And I ate it on air. But there was a guy who worked. Do you remember that Carl Christopher guy?
No.
Right, he works in the gallery. Right, it said microwave it for like a minute.
Oh, what did he do?
15 minutes he microwaved it.
No, he didn't microwave it for 15
minutes.
It'd have been rock hard.
Right, so I bit it. So obviously now it looked like charcoal. I bit it, and the bit of
teeth fell out.
The bit of liquid that was left turned it into napalm in my mouth. I was just going, whoa, like this. And but I had to pretend because obviously
I just don't think
it's
that you're a chef.
It's a TV show, so I had to go, oh, that's lovely. Just as bits of it, like hot rocks, were just attacking my mouth and just burning it to pieces.
It's like when you have something with hot cheese in it and it sticks on your lips.
I had a Scotch bonnet chilli whole the other day.
This is what I mean. Anyone who can eat that amount of spice, you don't have any taste buds.
I do.
You don't have any taste buds.
All right, let's go to Stephen Walsall. Stephen
Walsall, have you eaten mutton?
Do you like eating mutton? Even if it's dressed as lamb.
I have had that insult a lot, by the way. Everyone says I'm mutton dressed as lamb.
Whereas Queen Camilla's mutton dressed as mutton.
Hi, Steve. Have you had mutton? No?
No, he's not interested.
Not interested.
Hello? Come on, Steve. Is he dying?
The Roy's. Oh, yeah.
Hello?
Steve, what's going on? He's winding us up. He's winding us up, isn't he?
All of the British Empire.
I'll tell you what that reminds me of.
He's cutting in and out, Steve.
I remember, that reminds me of when we first got a mobile phone. You used to get every third word. Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do.
I had a friend who used to do that so that they go, oh, the line's breaking up. And put it down.
Okay, well, it's the Notting Hill Carnival this week, and I can't believe the amount of hoarding and boarding that has gone up to protect properties from what's supposed to be a fun event. I used to be one of the press secretaries to the Notting Hill Carnival. That was an error of judgment. It is an event that is culturally vibrant, but it has to be said, there's always violence, there's always stabbings, there's always injuries, and there's been calls recently to move it to somewhere like Hyde Park where it can be better controlled. Yeah. Obviously, the Caribbean community don't live in Notting Hill in the numbers they used to. But anyway, I went out and about. Right, let's just make sure the hair looks similar. I went out and about asking people whether Notting Hill Carnival should be banned. Take it away. Chaps, there were calls to ban the Notting Hill Carnival. I just wondered what you thought of that.
I think they should. It's too inappropriate.
Why?
The younger generation, man. It's not good.
Why do you think that?
It's too much. You understand?
Too much violence?
Yeah, man.
Should the Notting Hill Carnival be banned?
No, shouldn't.
Why not?
Because it's an institution.
What do you think of the Notting Hill Carnival?
Fabulous.
Do you think the Notting Hill Carnival should be banned?
Yeah.
Yes.
We should leave it there because it exposes other cultures to another culture. I think that that's important. We all need to be integrated and diverse and inclusive. And so how else will we learn about other cultures unless they actually come to our neighborhood?
Stick that butt out as you go down. You gotta get low, gotta get low. Yeah, there it is, there it is. And slow back up.
What about this move?
That's
a good squat. That's a good squat, is it? Should I do that again?
Wow, yeah, there we go, there we go. Uh-huh.
Look at that.
Get it down.
Look at that. Look at that.
Get it down.
Oh, I think I've ripped my trousers. I think I've ripped my trousers.
The melting pot is important. Multiculturalism is kind of dangerous unless you accept all of me and I accept all of you and I can appreciate some of the things of your life and learn from those things.
Sounds like you should have gone to the Notting Hill Carnival. I'm actually a bit gutted. I'll tell you what you should do. Next year, come back and I'll invite you.
Yes,
right. Thank you very much.
Oh, because you're so pale.
Oh, God, OK. So I was just rubbing my hand through my hair.
We were just talking about his hair. I was just saying how you should be blonde. You've lost weight since then.
But not a lot.
Did you do a little Trump when you did that squatting?
That's called an SLU. But that's Danielle, what sort of a drop is that called?
It's an SLU.
Yeah. Apparently I've been told I can't use that word. That came out the other day.
Yeah, you shouldn't ever use that word. Right, Steve's called back in Walsall. Hi, Steve. You're through to talk.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Danielle. Hello, Andre.
Hello.
Over the years, I've studied the rise of the British Empire.
Right.
And up till present day.
Yeah.
And I have also studied a bit the rise of the Roman Empire.
Right.
And its
Okay.
decline. And the British Empire and the Roman Empire seem to be running in parallel. The decline, the rise and the falls. Now,
okay.
Nobody's took any notice of the decline of the Roman Empire in politics, and we are already in the same way as the Roman Empire ended. I.e., immigration was one of them.
Right.
The Romans were a conquering, warlike people, as we were.
Yeah.
When the Romans stopped doing that, it met their decline. They made promises to people that they couldn't keep, and to the northern tribes. That at the finish, they invaded Rome. And we are going the same way, and we're not far away from the decline.
They say history repeats itself, don't they?
Hello?
They say that
it has to be said that when Rome disbanded, in terms of its overseas, not overseas, but its foreign territory, it brought a lot of people back with it. They often say that modern-day Romanians are more closely related to Romans than people who live in Rome today, simply because the people that built Rome just were eradicated by uncontrolled immigration, because Romania actually is Romania. Oh, yes. That's good knowledge, isn't it?
There you go.
I mean, in Rome, in ancient Rome, there were 1 million people there, and it was only a small place. And when they had the games, it was all free, and that was all thrown loads of bread. Then when the wheat harvest run out, that was all starving and resorted to cannibalism. And when they couldn't...
Sorry, are you describing the film Gladiator?
They invaded Rome and conquered it. And this country is doing exactly the same way.
But hang on a second. Let's just be clear on something. Maybe it's right. This is an awful thing to say. That in the circle of humanity, maybe it's right that it's time for Britain to step off the stage. That we'll become a third world nation, and then it will be another country that will step up, presumably China, and take over the world. Maybe that's the natural cycle.
I mean, Keir Starmer is what Commodus was to Rome, a disaster.
So, have you just watched the film Gladiator? No, I'm not being funny. But the sale of the bread stores, the games where bread was given away. Steve, please tell me you're not basing your political views on the film Gladiator.
No, I'm not. I've never seen the film Gladiator.
He said he studied the Roman Empire.
Well, the fact that Commodus the Gladiator was the Roman emperor he's talking about, but it's right that Marcus Aurelius was the last of 5 great good emperors of Rome. Well, the Antonius Pius, Hadrian, Marcus Aurelius, Trajan, and somebody else.
Obviously.
Can't remember.
Steve, thank you so much for calling us. Sorry, go on. What do you want to say, Steve?
I'm making the comparison.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
Do you know something? Wasn't it Hadrian's mother was called Pauline? I just love that. And apparently Trajan on his deathbed hadn't named an heir, and when Pauline was with him, and when she came out of his deathbed room, she said, the emperor's died and he's named my son Hadrian as his successor. Oh, that's a surprise, isn't it, Pauline? Well done, well done.
Thank you so much for your... Oh, sorry, go on, Steve.
Go on, Steve.
The thing is, why don't modern day politicians look at history and think, I'm not going to make the same mistake?
I know, but they don't.
But if you look at
Steve,
if you look at David Cameron,
they all think they're brilliant.
If you look at David Cameron thought back through all the previous leaders of the Conservative Party and thought, could I be like Margaret Thatcher? Could I be like Winston Churchill? No, I'll be like Ted Heath. That's what he thought. Oh, Ted. Well done, Ted Heath. Right, Ted Heath. That doddering old...
I did not like him.
I'll tell you what.
Not Ted Heath.
I'll tell you... Oh, no. Actually, I can't tell you the great Ted Heath, to be honest. No, it's got nothing to do with him being single. Oh, okay. Let me read you what Zarina has said. Hi, Andre. I'm a mixed-race woman, Pakistani English. My family have never really taken me in. In fact, my grandmother apparently told people that I was the neighbour's child when she was in my company. My Asian father was taken away by his family before I was 1 and before my brother was born. What? Apparently, my Asian grandfather offered to buy me, and my father was never seen again, all because my mother happened to be a white English woman. Okay, the next one is... Green oxo is vegetable. The lamb one is purple. Yes. And also...
Thank you, Tony in Essex.
Carol has defended me. She says rosemary goes with mutton. I should try a slow cooker.
See, rosemary with mutton, we go.
Mutton is good.
Yeah, but rosemary, that's what
you should dress more like mutton.
And shut up. And a nice purple oxo. So you put the green oxo.
Put the purple one.
No, you didn't. You said...
Yes, I did.
You said you put the green in,
I said I put the lamb cube in. You said it was green and then started going off on mint that just wasn't relevant. It was like that Ian Lee. Nice. It is a minty biscuit. It's a minty biscuit. Right, shut up about the minty biscuit. Nobody cares about the minty biscuit. Oh, shut up. Minty biscuit. We'll be back just in a moment.
across the UK. On DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
Hello, welcome back to the last 10 minutes of the show this morning. It's Talk. I'm Danielle. This is Andre. Andre likes to cook mutton.
You like to dress as lamb. There we
and
go.
Carol says, Andre, Morrison's do a lovely lamb gravy.
Granules. Save your faffing with flour.
I don't know if Carol's.
Carol agrees that mutton is a quality meat. It's quite hard to get hold of, though.
But there you go. Morrison's do a lovely lamb gravy. Mutton's hard to get hold of, isn't it? Is it?
Do you know what this is? This is the slough dividend. You can get mutton in slough. I also did goats once. Goat's rubbish. Goat's boring.
You can't. What would you cook goat in?
Goat curry.
I know, but I think it's a bit fatty goat.
Well, it was just boring. Boring. Also, I'll tell you what I do. I make.
Always a bit.
Have you ever had nihari Pakistani curry?
No.
Oh, that's superb.
Is it?
That's superb. Pakistanis are unbelievably good cooks. Unbelievably good cooks.
Are we?
You know, like Bangladeshis just do flash up the spice at the last minute. Pakistanis stew the curry for ages.
Is it really
superb.
nice?
Superb.
Cooked. Greeks do that with some vlaki, is it?
No, it's kleftico.
Kleftico.
Okay.
How nice is kleftico?
Shall we have that?
Oh!
I can make that.
Now that is fit.
I can make that.
It just sits there all day.
Do you know how you make it?
No.
Kleftico is the easiest thing in the world to make. All you do is you take probably half a shoulder of mutton or lamb, and then you just put it in to a tray with some water, put it in the oven on low, and just leave it.
I bet there's more in it than that.
No, actually, to be fair, what you normally do, what I would do, is put in some peppercorns, obviously.
I don't.
No, you put some tin foil, you put the mutton in or the lamb in, you put some peppercorns.
Does anyone want his food?
Whole peppercorns in there, then you put some good quality olive oil in there, and some oregano's good, and then you put it together.
Oregano. It's hard to get hold of oregano fresh. Why is that? Why is it so hard to get hold of fresh oregano?
Bozos like you can't cook.
It's so fit. Shut up. When you do it if you use fresh oregano in your pasta sauce, oh my word.
George,
for some reason, really hard to get hold of it.
So Jeff in Edgware has said, don't diss the mint green mint biscuit. It's a lovely minty biscuit. Do you remember that? It's a minty biscuit.
I don't know what you're on about.
Ian Lee was doing a phone-in for BBC West Midlands.
Right.
And Alex Lowe, the comedian, phoned in. You know the guy who did Clinton Baptiste?
Yes.
You're right.
I
and
love
he
him.
phoned in pretending just to be an old man. And it was a debate about... using blue badges.
Right.
Do you know, to park?
Yes.
And he just went on and on and on about the reason he uses the blue badge was to get a minty biscuit.
I've heard that.
And he's keep going, it's a minty... It's all right, Barry. Just leave the minty...
Because
he
said it's for my wife and she only likes the minty. I heard that.
Sometimes the neighbour comes over as well and he has the minty... It's got chocolate. It's chocolate.
How have I heard that?
It went round everywhere.
Oh, right.
He won one of those, what they called, Oreos or whatever, for radio for that. Okay, Paul is in Hartlepool.
Hi,
Paul, have you hung a monkey?
Hi, Andre.
Hi.
What I want to talk about is the abortion you were on about earlier on.
Yeah.
Right.
Those women that that go for an abortion, they went through absolute hell to make that decision, right? And you get some religious nut putting pressure on them outside of abortion clinics. You know.
Well, we've had this conversation, Paul, because I had late miscarriages and my babies, my body didn't expel the babies, and then the babies died inside, and that happened to me 5 times, which was glorious. But basically, you have to go to the abortion clinic, the same clinic, because the procedure is exactly the same.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. But it's the religious nuts. So this is the way I look at it, right? With religion. If you can convince the world that there's a God, right? They're gods, right? You'll never ever get rid of terrorism because their gods they're put down to their gods.
My brother is convinced that religion is basically the biggest problem.
No, because the reality is, I mean, there are religions that have wars within themselves. I mean, the English Civil War, Catholics versus Protestants. There's all sorts. The reality is there is a battle of ideas, and on some occasions people fail to keep that as a debate. I will tell you what's more likely to cause a war: the prohibition of free speech in this country. That's what leads to violence. It's not that people disagree.
It's the same situation. That's false, though. The religion is false. It's just to keep it was some of the centuries and centuries ago, just to keep the people.
Well, it's
in the right frame of mind.
And I didn't realise that the age of the Muslim religion. So while I was in Istanbul, I decided I wanted to go to a mosque. I didn't realise that the Quran is one of the newer religions, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still old. I didn't realise.
It's something like 700 years old rather than 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
They make it up as they go along, though. You know, they add this to it and add that to it.
I think that's slightly unfair. I mean, the Bible is known to be the New Testament. I'm not as clear on the Torah in the Old Testament. The New Testament is a collection of stories about Jesus.
The oldest religion is the Hindu religion, isn't it? That's the oldest religion.
Alan's fact of the day. But to be fair, the problem that you have with Islam is that in Christianity they believe that Jesus is the revelation. In Islam they believe the Quran is the revelation, and therefore they literally believe every single word of the Quran. Although the one criticism I always make to Muslim friends is nobody can understand the awesomeness of God anyway. So if you say the Quran definitely means this, then that means that you are actually a bit of a fool by definition. But Ken is in London. Ken, come on.
Hello, Ken. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Listen, I'll be 80 years old next month, and I've been a Christian now by God's grace for 45 years.
Wow.
Born again. And I would like just to say this. The black people I have met in my life as a Christian in Canada, America, UK, I have found to be the most sensitive people to the gospel. Wonderful. The greatest influence in my life has been black Christians.
So just to be clear, Ken, just to remind people, your view is that Britain should be a Christian country, but you are not bothered about the ethnicity or background of who those Christians are.
Of course not. The colour of a man's skin means absolutely nothing. God looks on the heart. But I would just like to say a word for my friends. Most of the friends I have as a Christian are from black areas or black stock in this country or in Canada.
Yes.
And I have found out that when I've been speaking to people about Jesus now for 45 years. The first day after I was converted 45 years ago, I began to speak to people about Jesus. And in my experience, Andre, I have found that black people are sensitive to the Holy Spirit. Now, look, the gentleman who was on there mocking Christian nutters, that's the type of white people, that's a very white response. The black people never talk like that about Jesus. I've never heard a black person speak with such...
I mean, if you go around South London, there's some remarkable things where there's a sign up, or at least there was, I think, on the Old Kent Road, if you're possessed by demons, come in and Jesus will save you. And that's old school, right?
But this is a reality in my life. I'm talking my reality as a man, as a human
Ken, what are you doing for your 80th birthday? Because I'll buy you a beer.
Listen, where are you taking me?
I'll tell you what. We'll.
It'll definitely be a Wetherspoons. Because he's addicted to Wetherspoons.
We'll buy Ken some... No, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you where we'll go. We'll go where Ken wants to go. We'll visit the Metropolitan Tabernacle, which is the born-again Christian place just down the road.
Ah.
And we'll buy him some cake in Wetherspoons across the road. How does that sound, Ken?
Listen, Andre, I appreciate you and